You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake, na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani, ngwe.
We must liberate ourselves from the chains that Ruto has shackled us with. And take it from me, fellow Kenyans. Take it from me. If Ruto Oro is re-elected, or anyone who espouses his value systems takes the reins of this country, it will be tragedy. It will be tragedy. We will begin descending to the abyss. Countries don't just fail overnight. You see, you ignore some things which are going on until you wake up and say, wait a minute, where are we? We cannot afford to leave our country and descend to that level. Fellow Kenyans, Kenya is a rich country. We are an intelligent people. We are athletic champions. You know that, isn't it? The Kenyan academicians and professionals shine on the global stage. We saw some, a country member, being given awards, huge sums of money because of the outstanding work they have done. We cannot, as a people who are intelligent, we cannot and must not allow our motherland to descend to anarchy.
All right, hello there, people of the internet. My name is Oduo Chegero, and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Do you know that thing? Greenwich, you know that thing, right? How do you pronounce it?
It's Greenwich.
Mean Time. Greenwich? Greenwich.
Oh.
Medium time. Greenwich Medium Time. All right, so people of the internet, I am here with Vast. Joachim is late. Sofina is late. So we're just going to start. Okay, so people of the internet, something very interesting. The amount of things are really interesting, especially in America right now. We are going to discuss it a little bit. And what I want you to tell me is how sometimes diplomacy can be worse than you thought it would end up. Because I think that we're going to talk about it, but when you actually get what Obama has done with Iran and tear it up, I say, no, we're just going to bomb these guys to smithereens and tell them to surrender and wave a white flag. And then at the end of the day, you give them 300 billion.
More than Obama gave.
More than Obama gave. All right, so we are going to be discussing that, people of the internet, in a little while. In about 18 months, people of the internet, Kenyans vote for a president again. And here is the situation. President Ruto is sitting at 24%. That, people of the internet, is low. Lower than any sitting president we have ever had at this stage. On paper, Odhiambo will tell you that he is beatable. Okay, but there is a problem. The people who want to replace him can't agree on one candidate. And we know how that is going. We can't, talk about that point for a long time. The United Opposition has 6 big names, all wanting the top seat, and they still haven't named a flag bearer. And it is not just the United Opposition. Outside that coalition, oh my goodness, people calling me. Yeah, silence on set. I'm so sorry, people of the internet. Come on, these women will have to leave me alone. Okay, like I was telling you, outside that coalition, there is a whole other group running on their own. So we have people like Wanjigi, who is saying 1 term, not 2 term, not 1 term. He is there in the middle. Then we have Maraga, whose speech we have just heard, that is saying that Ruto is actually taking us into the abyss. And he believes that he's the right man to lead this country. To him and Sifuna, they talk about the preamble of this constitution. I wonder why they cannot come together and create a huge force. So you have possibly Sifuna, Umtata, Boniface Mwangi, Morara Kibaso, and Wajakoya. Okay? Each one pulling a place of the anti-Ruto vote in a different direction. That's what we are talking about with Odhiambo tonight. Vashti is also here because we have seen this before. If you guys remember, in 1992, the opposition was bigger than Moi. But they split 3 ways and Moi won with just 36%. In 1997, Mr. Odhiambo, same thing happened. They split again and Moi won again. Then in 2002, they finally united behind one man. His Excellency, the former president, and now deceased, Mr. Mwai Kibaki. And he won in a landslide. So the question for 2027, Mr. Odhiambo, is simple. Which of those years are we about to repeat in 2027? There is one difference this time, though. I think the Constitution now requires 51% plus 1 to win outright. If nobody hits that, we go for a second run. Okay? So a split field doesn't automatically hand it to Ruto anymore. It might just force a second round. And then there is the youth. People like Vashti. Over 14 million young Kenyans will be eligible to vote in 2027. Most of them are not impressed by any of these leaders. You know, Vashti was supporting Matiang'i, but she has since been given money by I don't know who, and she has left. So tonight we break it down, the independence, the math, the history, and what actually has to happen for any of this to happen. Okay, so I have Mr. Odhiambo Otieno. Mr. Odhiambo Otieno, Ruto is actually having the lowest percentage of any sitting president since independence.
Yeah.
All right?
Approval rating.
Approval. Why do you have to go to approval or whatever?
Because you must be clear on the rating. There's the vote intention rating. There's the approval rating in terms of the job done.
Okay.
Yeah. So what he is down at is approval rating.
Please shed more light into it. Why are you splitting hair?
Because you have, you know, as a researcher or
okay.
somebody who holds the chance to speak to a lot of people, you must define to the people what is which or which is what.
Okay.
You realize that of the TIFA polls, of which one we have checked today, you realize that one of them was later flagged by another independent organization, which
okay.
is more credible.
Okay.
And say there was a bit of rigging or a bit of misplaced numbers in terms of the polling. And so you must be clear on
the approval polling.
Yeah, the approval polling. You must be clear on what are you telling the people that his rating is low on? Or
okay.
Because it can happen to any other candidate. In any case, opinion polling, specifically in this country, has never really given us the clearest picture when it comes to voting.
Okay.
Not unless you want to say that all the elections have been rigged. Okay? Opinion polling have never represented really the reality. But I've interacted with some of the best pollsters in this country who have given something called confidential poll results to the candidates. And whatever they give to the candidates has influenced the decisions of very many candidates in this country in terms of the presidential election.
I don't understand that. Please repeat again. When you say that they're being given something.
So in terms of polling, I do polling myself as well.
Okay.
Yeah? And there's something we call the confidential poll.
Okay.
That one which has the truth. Okay? The facts. You give it to the candidate.
So, okay, then I want to take you back, and yes. Sorry people of the internet for interfering. When they see me, you know, cutting with the amber short, they get so mad, but, you know, I'm the interviewer. So, take me back. How do opinion polls actually begin to exist? So you, as a polling organization, why are you polling?
So I run a psychometric analysis organization,
Okay.
which simply does behavioral profiling
Okay.
of people, not only voters, but also consumers.
Okay.
And then we model their consumption, or we predict their behavior towards particular stimuli. If they're exposed to particular stimuli, how
Okay.
would they react? So then we model that stimuli to achieve a particular effect, what you can call manipulation. So we do that through various confidential models which I cannot discuss.
Shortcuts.
Not shortcuts. They're tools.
Okay.
Okay? Now, when you move to understand the market, one of the things that most clients will always ask for is, can I get the factual representation of what is happening? All right? Now, most clients will never want those published unless they're winning. And one thing that I've never done in my polling career is to give clients what I know is false, because that would be very dangerous for them, and that will also destroy the credibility of the firm. Okay, so most of the clients, if the poll is actually bad, not in their favor, I'll tell them don't publish this poll, because then why are you doing it? You'll be handing over daggers to your opponent. They'll stab you real bad. What you do is use this for your own consumption, and even if you're going to communicate with the public, we only extract opinion poll.
You don't go into the
full
details.
Report, yeah, the full report has a lot of things.
I am assuming that is the one that has been commissioned.
Yes.
But then there is the other one that is not commissioned.
You can't do non-commissioned surveys. Are you the intelligence service? It's expensive.
Come on, Odhiambo.
It's very expensive.
So the ones that we are seeing were commissioned by who?
Of course, they're commissioned by somebody. There is an organization that is paying. I cannot take fielders to the ground and then tell them to field. How am I going to pay them? Somebody must pay for it. So if it's the government that wants to know what Jagger is doing with this podcast.
But Infotrack is paid by who when they are talking about presidential candidates?
Okay, so Infotrack has its own SOPs. I may not know who actually pays.
What are
Infotrack.
SOPs?
Standard operating procedures.
Okay.
In terms of how they hire, how they onboard clients. Okay. I can tell you for sure one thing that I know. I've been in research for a long time, and I know that you cannot move to the field without proper financing. It will be hectic for you.
So who pays them?
So we could pay them, the organizations which are interested. Okay, so one of the things that Africa Insight Partners does is covert operations. So I want to, a client...
What is a covert operation?
A covert operation is an operation that is not made official. Okay?
Yeah.
So a client may want to understand how is Vasht doing her business, and they don't want that to be formal, but it's paid for by the client. So there's a way it comes to me and the firm, and we understand how to move around and gather information from, it's called primary intelligence. We gather primary intelligence from Vasht and a business without her knowing that we're gathering information.
Yeah.
And most of the time it will never be me. You'll never see me do it.
Can I ask you, can I narrate to you a scenario?
Please.
And you tell me whether this would be true.
Okay.
Okay, so we are thinking about the elections of 2027. So the CIA is interested in finding out where the country is leaning.
Yes.
China is interested. China pays Infotrack under the table.
Yes, or pays Africa Insight Partners.
Yes, under the table, and tells them, do it and release it to the public.
Yeah.
So that would happen.
A lot of times. I've received such assignments, but not from the intelligence services you've mentioned.
From who?
From normal people and normal organizations in Kenya. Yeah, they just say, hey, I want to understand ABCD. Can you do for us a baseline survey, for example? I just want to understand what's going on.
But I've also been told that you can actually receive a very fat bahasha to manipulate it and say, okay, so Maraga sends you to the people to do for him a research, and you find that he's extremely unpopular, but you go ahead and publish.
If you're unethical, you'll do that. Research does not require you to do that. That is lack of ethics.
But they do it. Some scrupulous people do it.
The unscrupulous people. And they do it, and within a short time, their polling firms normally fall or collapse because the credibility is lost.
But then how do we know that the credibility is lost?
The clients, you see, what you normally see is the public view.
Okay.
For example, my operations, perhaps you've seen a few of them.
Yeah.
But the public will never know what I do. but
Okay.
I do them nonetheless. Okay? And it is more important to the client than to the public because it is for private consumption. It's not for public consumption.
Okay.
Now, if it is in good standing, I will not even release it. It will be released by somebody else who is not related to me completely. If it is good,
Yeah.
if it is in favor of my client, then a part of it, a deducted report, will be released.
Okay.
So majority of what you see on TV during news or breaks or whatever, it's not the full report.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can tell you today. Do you know after every election, IEBC has 2 different reports?
Okay.
There's a confidential report that IEBC has
That they send to
that they
NIS.
consume internally.
Who is consuming?
IEBC itself, the commissioners and the secretariat.
And then they table it.
And the levels of clearance at IEBC. You cannot just access any document. In fact, in the government, the level of clearance,
But the report will end up at the table of the president.
no.
Why not?
Why should it?
Because he needs to know.
If, only if, the clearance level requires some level of goodwill from the president, then it will arrive at his table.
Okay.
It has clearance
I want
levels.
to go back to you,
Yeah.
and then. But right now I want to invite Queen Vashti so that the men can see her face. You know. Queen Vashti, how are you doing? Please come closer to the mic. Now uchangamuke kidogo. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. What has been in your head politically for the last 1 week? You're doing your morning show together with Omasete. How is that going? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, we have been enjoying it. It's a bit hectic.
Why is it hectic?
Because I'm not. I'm discovering that I'm not a morning person, really.
Okay.
But I'm adapting to
You're
it.
adapting.
Yes.
Okay.
But it has been nice. We talk
What-
about a lot of.
Yeah. What do you think about Maraga? Maraga, as the president, he has really admonished the president in his earlier speech. He has finally actually come out and has done a very good town hall. And I think I would applaud him for that. What do you think? Do you think this changes your mind about Matiang'i, who is currently your presidential candidate, or you left him alone?
No, right now I don't have a presidential candidate. I like both Matiang'i and Sifuna. And
Okay.
I think that Sifuna and Maraga share the same values because Maraga is coming as someone who is always talking about the constitution and protecting the constitution of Kenya.
Okay.
And Sifuna has always also talked about the preamble of the constitution. So they have the same agenda. It's just that Sifuna's agenda is well known because he has a charismatic personality. So they are just the same.
Maraga is missing charisma.
Yes, he's not very charismatic. He's
Okay.
a very boring person.
He's a very boring person.
Yes.
And that makes you sad.
He's a good candidate.
Because you'd want for him to come out clearly and with a lot of charisma, but he's also 70 plus years old. You don't expect much.
He cannot be someone he is not because he's 75. He's 74, I guess.
Yes, 74.
Yeah. So we cannot expect much from him. My old dogs.
But why can't he retire? I mean, 74. Go retire. You know, play with your grandchildren. What's about that?
I also feel like he should retire.
Okay.
I think this campaign is taking a toll on him. But now there are people who actually believe in him.
Okay.
Me being one of them, it's just that I don't think he's a viable candidate. You know, when you are thinking about people you are going to vote for,
Okay.
they have to be viable at least.
Okay.
Ukienda into the election, what is the feasibility or the viability that this person is going to win? If they are not going to win, then now you're also wasting your vote.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if you really believe in this person. So he's a tired person. He should just join Sifuna. I think joining Sifuna is the best thing for him. But he also talked about having a single united opposition leader in 2027 election. So I think this is also something that he's
thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to welcome people of the internet, and then I'll go back to the Ambo, because people of the internet, this polling thing is something that we are going to see a lot as we take the sharp bend towards the 2027 elections. And I want to discuss a little bit of this with the Ambo to see what exactly happens. Okay, so we have Velna saying, hello there, people of the internet, excited for this episode, thank you very much. Enoch is saying, hello there, people of the internet, waiting for the big conversation of today's podcast. Jagero, are you still organizing ama umemaliza bwana? Ambia ubonga kamera, siwe chonjo, hakuna mchezo leo. Thank you very much. Mr. P.S. Chit is saying, people of the internet, good evening or morning, wherever you are in the four corners of the earth. Thank you very much and welcome to the program. Rita Phil is saying, this is my favorite team. Thank you very much. Queen Vashti is here. Odhiambo Tieno is here. Today, I hope he's not going to be apologizing so much for the government. Mr. Patrick is saying, karibu tena sana Abi Zwena kwa set and tell Jagero Sifuna will never be scared to come and talk to the people and respond to all the concerns they have. Although Abi Zwena, I'm not sure whether Abi Zwena is being talked about because I saw the thumbnail and she's not there. Unfortunately, today, Abi Zwena is not there. Steffi is saying, I love how I rush home to catch the live. This is highlight of my day. Thank you very much. I really am honored. Odhiambo, Queen Vashti here is honored to talk with you this evening. Ratengo is saying, good evening, people of the internet. Good evening, Jagero. Say hi to Vasht and Double O, tuned in from Nakuru. Thank you very much. Eva Otieno, by the way, Jagero, why have you never brought Boniface Mwangi to political headache? We are estranged.
Strange couple.
We are estranged with Boniface Mwangi. The last time we had a very big fight with Boniface Mwangi, I don't think that he has ever forgiven me. But I think that, siasa ni kusaidiana, kuheshimiana. I really, you know something about Boniface Mwangi Odhiambo? Boniface Mwangi was the first person to give me money to actually publish my first book, True Citizen. And he also went ahead and gave me money to organize the event. And Boniface Mwangi is one of the biggest supporters of my life. And I will always and forever be indebted to Boniface Mwangi. Lakini anakuanga na hasira. Sana saa zingine. Boniface Mwangi.
You should bring him, by the way.
I should bring him, yeah?
He's a presidential candidate.
He's a
I don't know
presidential-
why you never talk about him.
We-
A serious presidential
Maybe you ask Odhiambo why he's not talking about him. Because Odhiambo does not talk about him. But in our notes
Boniface
today,
Mwangi.
we have Boniface Mwangi, correct? In our notes today,
Is there.
Yeah, we do.
in our notes today, we have got Boniface Mwangi. I don't know whether Boniface Mwangi is really serious in becoming a president. I really don't know. Okay, but anyway, Mr. Samutai is saying, Jagero methinks Kenya is better. Give Ruto his 2 times. I can't imagine a William Ruto as an opposition leader. He will be unmanageable. I don't think so. Ruto is comfortable either way. Second round will even favor him. Jagero, where is Martha Okello? Martha Okello has not appeared for some time.
I see her I meet her on Facebook though.
Oh, you do? You followed each other on Facebook? How is that going?
Not bad.
Mr. Patrick is saying, Odhiambo, put Paul. Put Paul. So, there it is. I want to go back to Odhiambo. Odhiambo, there are people that have always asked me. Martha Odhiambo is actually here. Martha Okello is here, watching from Kikuyu. She's here today. So I think Martha is... people are saying that, I've heard politicians saying, were you polled? No. Were you polled? No. Were you polled? No. So who was polled? That question is something that I would like you to actually let us understand. Why is it that I have never been polled, but polls are coming out?
So I'm not going to mention the name of the most credible pollster in this country.
Okay.
Because, again, it doesn't want to be mentioned. But I can tell you, I think we were with you actually at Serena Hotel when we were being told about the story of this pollster who influenced Raila's contesting from 1990s up to 2022.
Okay.
This pollster is one of the most revered pollsters in Kenya. He doesn't run a farm, but he runs an organization. The two are very different. And one of the things that he's well known for is that when he gives you a poll, or when he does a poll about you or about issues, then be sure that he's as credible as he's telling you. And Raila loved this gentleman dearly. Raila you will be seated with Raila in a hall, and then this gentleman walks in, and Raila will leave you. And we'll go and talk to this gentleman for 20, 30 minutes. Then after that, the gentleman will just disappear. And of course, he also brought up several pollsters, including Angela Ambito, came from the hands of this gentleman. The same to Caesar Handa, and many more. And I had the pleasure to meet him just recently and had a sit down with him at length. And I didn't understand why many things happened. At one time, Kalonzo Musyoka, and they know, they will watch this clip. Kalonzo Musyoka in the run-up to 2007 elections, presented a poll with his team of experts to Raila and team. And the poll was indicating that Kalonzo was the most viable candidate at that time. The poll that was done by Kalonzo. And then this gentleman had done his poll as well. And he was seated in the meeting. And he let the guys talk and finish. Then he stood after they were finished and asked them that let's be genuine with each other. And let's go through this poll bit by bit without favoritism. Because polling is a very ethical matter. It is being used to project and model outcomes. So let's be very genuine. And when he presented this poll and finished, that is how 2007 elections was modeled the way it was. And that is why, to date, the most organized campaign of any political outfit in this country was 2007 elections, especially within the Pentagon side. Now, most politicians are always going for what I call quick dopamine. That we want something that will give me approval. Okay? They don't go for the truth. They go for quick dopamine. They will give me a feel-good syndrome. And if such a politician comes to somebody like me, I will simply tell you, no, that's not my job. If you want to feel good, there's so many ways of feeling good. You can get court jesters, those ones who will sing for you, those who will tell you you're winning. Me, don't do that. Me, I'll tell you the truth, the fact, and where you want to, and how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. And I found so much similarities between myself and that gentleman. And I thought this is something that is, so I'm okay doing whatever I'm doing because the clients that I've retained are always for that reason, because we take a predictable path and we even give the variables that if we work on will give a different result. So for the media, whatever you see in the media majorly, is a politician who is seeking quick dopamine and trying to sort political wars amongst them, but not focused on winning an election. Because if you're focused on winning an election, you must first determine and define what is going to influence that election. What is that election about? And how you arrive at what an election is about is by something called, of course everybody knows, reverse psychology, or something called reaction formation formula. That I develop a hypothesis that if I do this, how will Jagero react? Okay? So I start from the end. That this is Jagero's reaction. So let's work backwards. That whenever he arrives at this reaction, we have actually done A, B, C, D that has led him to this. The same way to the electorates. Well, you can call it manipulation, I've said. Where I can model for you a direct and exact event, how it will happen on paper, okay? Then I give you the process that will make it arrive there, and then I go and implement it. How do I implement it? Okay, of course, through the media, it's mass media. There is a theory of the media called the hyperdemic theory. I think it's epidemic theory of the media, which talks about the people receiving news from the media without opposition. Okay? It is so strong, it's like a needle that's been dropped from a distance high above and targeting you. You can't reject it, it just pierces. So news just goes into the brain without you being able to do what? To look at it and trying to verify. And that also couples with something called idol of the theater in philosophy. That whenever you watch a movie, you don't have time to argue with the movie or apply your logics with the movie. And even if you do, you will not enjoy. That's why you will switch off some screens. Normally when you sit watching a movie, it will just go through until the end. So you are left there like a garbage. And everything that is said comes in. That's why if I want to model a particular outcome, normally we use the what? The media. So we manipulate events and then give it to the what? Feed it to the media, because the media is hungry for news. And for a big part of the time, the media is largely lazy. So we do the hard work and then the media just consumes it. Now that said,
yeah.
Just
can you put your DJI mic close to where we usually put it?
Like that?
Somewhere, the other side, I believe so.
This side?
Yeah.
All right. So that said, to answer your question, is that most politicians seek quick dopamine. Okay. And in seeking quick dopamine, they can even do a poll on a paper and then just post it online and say these are the results. Because anyway, the results is what you're looking for.
By the way, I personally don't take these polls that are published online seriously, because I've been involved in mobilizing for a candidate kwa hizi polls, and then now they are published, and then it is taken as truth, and it's not truth. So if you are a serious person, don't take them as truth. These are Tifa polls. It's just people.
Well,
you
Tifa-
take your supporters, and then you mobilize them to support a particular candidate, and then now itakuwa published as the truth, but it's not.
Well, I tell you, Tifa is one of the most credible polling firms in Kenya, that I can tell you. They've been very consistent with my psychometric analysis as well.
Yeah.
I always check. Like I can tell you, every day I receive reports on how Ruto is performing.
Yeah.
As at today, at about 6 p.m., it's been mentioned, share of voice, something called share of voice that we look at, yeah? That how many times has it been mentioned on social media and in the media as reported, is at 19.1 today.
19.1, less than 24%.
Less than 24%. It's always below 24% actually.
There
For
is-
the last,
there is a-
the highest it was at 24 was when Macron was here.
There is a nini that there is a friend of mine that used to tell me that he's going to do monkey business. And monkey business, and I don't know how you as pollsters actually mitigate this, that they will just sit under a tree and tick boxes and then take back the papers. But I remember you telling something to mitigate that you are following them through GPS.
Yes.
To know if they're actually in Ahero town.
Yes. For me, you cannot steal my polling. Because when I assign you as a fielder, all the equipment you're using is GPS tracked. And as you enter the polls, I can see. I have a whole monitoring team that always, we were doing Kisumu, and I trained them through this when you were there. And when they deployed, I told them, if you do a mistake, I'm not paying you. Because I can see, and it will reveal. So don't do a mistake, because we want an actual representation. Now, it also depends on which sampling formula you're using, because the sample size really matters in any polling.
Okay.
So the one that I love using is the Cochrane's method, which is the most preferred, because it gives accurate sample sizes according to the population that you are sampling from. Okay. Now, if you use Cochrane, most of these pollsters you see, as Vashti is saying, they don't even know what is the sampling methodology. They just wake up and say, we interview 2,000 people. How do you interview 2,000 people? From which representation? How did you segment? Because you must have a dynamic segmentation. You must understand, what
is a dynamic segmentation?
Which means you must have a pure representation of how the society, or of how the community you're looking at, the scope you're looking at looks like. You can't say, I'm going to sample, or I'm going to research in Nyakach. Then you only sample Kabodo, down here, the strip down here. Then you leave Nyabondo, you leave Sondu. You see?
You leave Kadianga.
You leave Kadianga.
Panga.
And also depends on the number. Like, for example, I can choose, let me say I'm sampling Mombasa. Let me go a little bit national.
Okay.
An issue in the coastal area, okay? And let's say it's on economics. If it's on economics, you can't miss the beach boys, for example. You can't miss the hoteliers. You can't miss the tourists there. You can't miss the government. You must check everything. But when somebody says, I'm going to do an economic poll or an economic survey in Mombasa or in Coast, then they only interview beach boys. Your result is silly. Like, for example, somebody says, I'm going to poll 2,000 people. Then they use mobile phones, calling. It's not very representative. Because then the people you're polling are the ones who have what? Mobile phones. How about those who don't have? Okay? That's why for me, I always say, we go with primary intelligence. Primary intelligence means I'm not going to rely on what Gemini is telling me or Facebook, because I can get that. I can simply fish from your computer or from your phone and get every data of yours and use it, integrate it. But primary intelligence dictates that I'm going to the field and doing in-depth interviews, one-on-one questionnaire administration, or focus group discussion, so that the data I have is original. It is not secondary. Because secondary data has been used, doctored, or you don't know the collection, so it's not pure. And using secondary data is left for those who want to understand secondary level of issues. If you want to do pure research and polling, you must go to the primary intelligence. You must speak to the person, in person.
Yeah. Well, let's play something about Maraga. Maraga is with people of the internet, we are going to be talking about the outliers, the independents, people that are saying, okay, we don't want Ruto to be the next president, but we also don't want others to be president, except us. Okay, so let's play Maraga, the second one. And I want
I will raise my hands and tell everybody who serves under me to obey that court order, because that's the land, the law of the land. A civilized government is one which obeys the law. It should lead by example. I will do that. We must reverse the imperial presidents, where the president is considered as the sole provider of development. You are told all the time, Rais amekuja hapa, ametupatia hii. All that is supposed to be in the development plan. What about the areas where he has not been to? What about the areas where he doesn't have sycophants? You can't run a country, you wait for the president to come and say, let me build for your school here. My government will leverage on artificial intelligence to expand opportunities for our youth who are already digital natives. I will stop or drastically reduce borrowing, especially domestic borrowing, as I told you, which has mopped up liquidity from the local market, and look very, very keenly and seriously into business licensing, taxation, and energy supply to spur manufacturing, including development of cottage industries, to incentivize small and medium enterprises. I believe in opposition unity. This opposition unity must be built on a convergence of values, not appetites.
Odhiambo, I don't know what you think. You are laughing when Maraga was speaking. I don't know what you think about Maraga, and I also want to ask the people of the internet what they actually think about Maraga's candidature. I don't know whether Maraga actually understands artificial intelligence. There is something he has said there that's very interesting. I don't know what he has said about artificial intelligence, but he's talked about digital natives and so on and so forth. What do you like about Maraga as a presidential candidate? Do you hold him in high regard? How many votes he's going to get? What happens to Maraga? Because he's a good Kenyan, I think. And I don't hear you talk about him much.
Maraga is a fantasy girlfriend you'll never have. That I've always said. Is a fundamentalist. Is that wife that you dream of but is never there. You just have to deal with what you have. You get it? Maraga, I hold him in very high regards as my church elder at Lavington SDA Church.
That's where he goes to church?
Well, that's where I've seen him. I hold him in very high regards in that respect. I started seeing Maraga when I was reporting as a journalist in Kisumu, at the Kisumu appeals court. And he's somebody I like so much, especially he has a very nice book which talks about fishing for evidence. I really like the way he thinks legally. I think Maraga cannot make a very good politician. He's one of the conscious voices we have in Kenya, and that is just as good as it remains because it doesn't resonate well with the common mwananchi. I think Maraga summited with the Raila Odinga ruling of 2017, nullifying the elections. And that was a first, of course, amongst many. But that alone cannot convert into a force that will result into a proper voting machine. I do think that Maraga would be more effective in terms of establishing a Chief Justice Emeritus library or a Chief Justice Emeritus legal fellowship, leadership, whatever, some academy that teaches about integrity, courage, a think tank of law, where he can be inviting fellow judges from across Africa and beyond to come and study Kenya as a trend setter in terms of judicial precedents. I think it suffices in that purely and professionally. But below that, trying to muddy himself in politics just takes down his legal index very low because he's trying to muddy himself amongst people he should not mix with. I believe politics is very dangerous for Maraga. He's a very good voice. Converting it into votes, I don't know. So then it becomes not a wild goose chase, but it becomes a rocking chair syndrome again. Keeping himself busy just because there's nothing to do. Just like when you have money and you're at home, you sit at home, you'll be very uncomfortable. Or even when you don't have money as a man, you just want to wake up and go to town. So Maraga is just waking up and going to town and going back home in the evening, going to town. Because a man must have purpose. If you lack purpose, you're going to die.
Why are you laughing, Queen Vashti?
I don't know why she's laughing.
Because I also feel the same.
Oh my God. That is. Yeah.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
when you were suffering still?
Yeah. When I was suffering.
Yes, I don't know you're not suffering, but when you're suffering still, do you remember those days that you used to just leave the house and go to town?
Yeah.
Do you know so many men in this city just leave the house to go to town?
Yeah. I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
There is some danger.
Yes.
In you staying at home.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous because
Yeah.
you start hearing voices
Exactly.
when you stay at home.
Yeah, and you start haunting.
And you're wondering, if I don't get out
Yes.
and look for a coin.
Yes.
You see, you can walk 20 kilometers looking for a coin.
Yes.
And you won't get one.
Yes.
For every other day. You know, when I used to go to college, I used to dream and fantasize about picking a note.
I said you suffered.
And I'm wondering whether the presidency for Maraga is picking that note.
Yeah,
that I used to look for.
It's a fantasy, but you see, Maraga cannot sit at home.
But then the problem,
Because
the question,
it's too big than the home.
the question is,
Yeah.
waking up at 74 to be president, and people of the internet, I think that most of the time when we discuss these things as raw as they come,
Right.
people of the internet look at us as if we're looking down upon these people,
No.
or basically degrading them and you know, being very condescending to them. But I think that is the conversation that Kenyans need to have. And I'm wondering if Maraga really wanted to be president, perhaps he should have left earlier. But for him to wait and then retire.
Let me tell you something, Jacob,
From the
that-
judiciary.
There's something you don't know. Perhaps this is what I need to share with you.
Yeah.
You see, the colonial mindset that was indoctrinated upon us was that once you hit 60, you should retire and go home. Can I interest you? You can Google right on your phone right now.
Yeah.
That the most productive ages of any human being, the most productive is between 70 and 80.
70 and 80.
Yes, there's a research there. You can Google it. And I don't know if you can Google it
Productive.
and display for us.
What do you mean by
as a
productive?
fact,
Kulima kwa shamba.
the most productive in that the age whereby you can effect most changes and progress is between 70 and 80. The second most productive ages is between 60 and 70. The third most productive age is between 50 and 60. So how old are you again?
I am 43.
You're still very young. You're still dealing with issues of money. You're still stressed with financial freedom. Like me, I'm not even there yet. So those people,
But-
one, they have network.
Okay.
Two, they have systems running. And three, they have the capability of commanding those systems.
Okay.
So that's why if you look at the Western world, their most productive people are actually between the ages of 60 and 80. That's why you find most billionaires, actually, if not a half of the billionaires and more, are actually beyond the age of 60. But us here, you find a 55-year-old young man or young woman is very tired that they have retired. And they're walking with coats that look like sand has been put in them, you know? And it's dangerous. And they have very dry skin. But that's not how it should be. That's colonialism abusing us. So Maraga waking up at that age is because it is productive.
But
The challenge is not channeled. Yeah.
I think Maraga is used to power. You know, when you are Chief Justice, you have a lot of power, though it's institutional power. So, retiring has made that power go away. So right now, he's looking for a purpose in life. And when the Gen Z protested, and his name was among the names that were called upon, among the people who are seen like they can lead the country, aliamua, okay, let me come back. But the kind of power he's now looking for is a bit different from what he's used to.
Okay.
And speaking about his personality too, because he is already used to institutional power, I think kama ushazoea mambo ya institution and you get away from it, you think that power is with you, but it's not. Sometimes people respect you and you think they respect you for you, but they respect the institution that you are in. So Maraga has been like that for a long time, and now he feels naked. That's why now Anenda going around doing the things that he's doing. Though he looks tired, I also feel for him. Whenever I feel him talk, I see him talk, I feel like he's very tired. He should just rest. Yes, but I know his fans won't. Hawakubaliani na mimi, hawatakubaliana na mimi.
People of the internet are saying that Vashti has joined Odhiambo in looking
No.
for vote for Ruto.
We are just saying the truth.
Yeah, and Vashti camera is out of focus, by the way. People of John Tess, please have a look at it. All right, so I wonder, can we go to the issue?
Yeah, please.
I wanted to ask Howie to probably take us through the 1992. What exactly happened there? You know, Howie used to be in radio. I wonder whether she has rusted, but she can tell us, give us a story. Howie, good evening. What is going on there? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
But you have not actually properly introduced yourself to the people of the internet. It is usually important because...
Where's the camera on her?
Yeah? The camera on her is not there today.
I am the ghost
Yeah,
in today's
but
session.
we will get a camera on her.
As I discussed the ghost of
Wajana
1992.
Yeah. So what would tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here, by the way?
Okay, so I am Howie, formerly known as Howie.
Okay.
Yes, as you have mentioned, Jagera, I used to be on radio. I will not mention where exactly. But yes, I am currently here doing amazing things with the political headache, dialogues with Jagera, and plenty of other amazing things. But for now, we're going to talk about ghosts.
Okay.
Odhiambo, are you afraid of ghosts?
No, I love ghosts.
You love ghosts?
I'm a ghost chaser.
Ghost
A
chaser.
ghost chaser or ghost buster?
Ghostbuster.
Chaser.
Ghost hunter.
Yeah, hunt them.
Okay.
I love ghost data.
What happened in 1992, Vashti?
So, yeah, Vashti. Are you afraid of ghosts?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm not
Okay,
afraid.
since no one is afraid of ghosts, let's have a look at some of the things that happened in 1992 concerning the elections in Kenya. Now, it happened to be the first election that had been held under a multi-party election since independence, and it ended after 26 years of official single-party rule under the Kenyan African National Union, which is KANU. So to give you a better understanding of the context of exactly what happened in 1992 during those elections, there was a faction with the opposition. The opposition party had challenges in forming one would I call it coalition? Or one sitting at one table to make sure that they could be able to get Moi, Daniel Arap Moi, off the seat. So the main vehicle for the opposition was originally a single broad alliance called Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, which is FORD. However, prior to the vote, intense rivalries split the opposition along ethnic and regional lines. Is it starting to sound a little bit familiar? Is the script
Matiba, Kibaki, Odinga,
is the script
Moi.
seeming a little bit similar? So yes, we had the KANU that is led by the incumbent president Daniel Arap Moi, drawing heavy support from the Kalenjin and other Rift Valley communities. We had Ford Kenya led by Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, drawing strong support from the Luo community. We had Ford Asili, led by Kenneth Matiba, drawing heavy support from parts of the Kikuyu and Luhya communities. And then we had the DP, which is the Democratic Party, led by Moi Kibaki, drawn support from another major fraction of the Kikuyu community. So now, by the time it came to the point of the ballot, the things that were expected to happen, I think maybe didn't happen as people had anticipated, simply because of the divide of the opposition. So the presidential election results at that time, Daniel Arap Moi under KANU got 36.8% of the vote. Kenneth Matiba Ford Asili got 26.0% of the vote. Moi Kibaki, the DP for Democratic Party, got 19.5%, and Oginga Odinga Ford Kenya got 17.5% of the vote. So just to give you a summary generally of what happened in 1992 election, they failed to dislodge President Moi, but it successfully fragmented the single-party monopoly on the state power. So we had the opportunity to have multi-party opportunity, but it wasn't utilized to be able to get rid of Daniel Arap Moi. Yes.
So, I used to think that, Odhiambo, thank you very much, Howie. I used to think that Jaramogi did really well in this election. It was dubious, to say the least, right?
Yeah.
It was very dubious. I mean, I thought he was going to lose. I've not been voting for a long time. Yeah, and you can imagine that we had Matiba and we had Kibaki, both coming from Mount Kenya, and they still scored more than Oginga Odinga. What was Oginga Odinga thinking? I mean, it was really little.
Oginga Odinga lost his mojo post the resignation. Politics doesn't recognize resignation in protest. If you resign in protest, you must then convert it in the street. But if you resign in protest, then you disappear or the state captures you, then you lose your street mojo. Because then, that thing I always told you about the street index. Your street index only rises when you can stand against the government. And I've always told you about Nwabuzo, who is a political writer, who wrote a book about Introduction to Politics for African Students. And it says that an effective politician is one who can lead the interest, or who can champion the interest of a sect towards government. So if you are dislodged from power, then you must champion the interest of a sect towards government, the same what Gachagua is doing. That's when you become an effective politician. But if you are dislodged, or if you resign yourself, then you don't champion towards the government, you lose your mojo, and power aborts a vacuum, somebody else props up. And that's how Matiba came to be, etc. And we understand that way.
Yeah, but would you say that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga only got the Luo votes, because we have always known that Raila Odinga would later not just rely on the Luo votes, but he would pinch from every part of the country, pinch from the coast, he'd pinch from. I'm not sure about the distribution of Oginga Odinga's votes.
Predominantly Luo.
Okay.
There was the Luo phobia, and that Luo phobia has existed for a long time. And I believe it's during Jaramogi's time when our fathers would not use the names O and A. I remember my dad was called Arthur Paul for a long time. He never used to Tieno until later on that when things opened up. So yes, during his time, there was that say amongst the Luo that he's mysterious, yeah. And so amongst the Luo, Jaramogi was very big. But outside Luo, he was big in terms of perception, but in terms of conversion, it was very small, because he was viewed as a man who had walked out of power, okay? Who had walked out of power. And so people like Matiba, who were looking like they are strong, could simply champion interests of their sects towards the government, and that's how they gained prominence. Yeah.
Okay, well then I don't know whether Howie has this, but in 1997 there is the exact mistake again.
Yes.
This time round, do you want to talk about it?
In 1997, I think was one of the most interesting. Though 1992 was very interesting, but then 1997 becomes the most interesting because of the dual split plus Orengo coming in there. People were seeing a real chance, and the opposition, because President Moi had given strong indications of him exiting. Okay? And so people were positioning not for 1997, but for 2001 to 2002 elections. So men went out to position, and that is where we have, of course, Jaramogi Raila Odinga, we have Kibaki, we have this team that then gathered more votes cumulatively than President Moi.
Yeah.
The CAS. Which I say, unity wins, division loses. Otherwise, I would say, unity gives you a sure win, fragmentation gives you a sure loss.
Yeah.
And that is the same mistake that's going to happen in 2027, and we'll explain how.
By the way, before moving forward, can we just talk about the 1992 issue, about Jaramogi?
Okay.
I do not know why a lot of people in power are noble. Someone like Jaramogi, he was noble for a long time. Remember, he was offered to be the first prime minister, and he refused in favor of Jomo Kenyatta. And he said, no Jomo Kenyatta, no nothing. So he's one of the people who really championed the release of Jomo Kenyatta. And then now they came from being allies of some sort, and then he was dehumanized. There was a lot of propaganda that was promoted against him by Jomo Kenyatta and those in power. And so I really don't understand why people will be like that. And I want to encourage everyone here, do not be like Jaramogi. Even going to 2027, or even if you are in a protest somewhere, do not be a noble person. You
Yeah.
will always lose, just like Jaramogi did.
Yeah, and
if you have watched Game of Thrones, have you watched Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it much. I watched it in bits and parts. I liked the language a lot, but I didn't like the imagery.
Yeah, he always reminds me of Ned Stark.
No, Ned Stark.
Yeah, Ned Stark. He was a very noble person.
He's from which house?
House of Stark.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You don't. Yeah.
But Odhiambo, that would be very good for you.
You think so?
Maybe you read the
watch
book.
Game
I
of
would Odhiambo might want to read the book rather than actually watching
the
it.
movie, yeah?
Yeah, the book is fantastic, but the there is a lot of demagoguery and blood in Game of
the
Thrones.
movie.
It's not, for me, I don't find it tasteful in terms of imagery. But I really love the lines. Kwanzaa, there is that guy who doesn't have
The dwarf.
no, there is the dwarf, and then there is the other one. The other one who I think is a eunuch.
Littlefinger.
Yeah,
not Littlefinger. Nimesahau the
Yes, the guy with there is a bald-headed guy
Yeah.
who is really, really good. Yeah, Odhiambo, but you can read the book.
You can watch
So
it.
let me just comment as follows.
Yeah.
One thing I've studied in my short years around the sun
Okay.
is that the default is evil, number one. The morality knows no poverty, and also money does not know morality, and power does not really go well with morality. They don't sit together very well. They're very strange cousins.
Yeah.
For you to sustain some level of power, there's some level of immorality that comes with it. And it's not immorality in terms of sexuality, no. Immorality in the sense of
Debauchery.
debauchery,
You just have to be
demagoguery.
an evil person. And
Yeah.
and that's
Is,
why I have,
is that perhaps why Maraga is going to find it
Yes.
difficult?
Very difficult.
Because the universe does not reward moral people. The universe rewards effective people. And
Okay.
effective people normally go on the sides of evil because, I'm saying this in jest, that if you maintain morality, you must remember those who founded or those who brought about the social construct of morality knew very well that morality is a veil that is used to remain effective. That's why you see philanthropists, quote unquote, are normally the biggest capitalists.
Yeah.
Okay, and you wonder
They also form those philanthropic organizations to run away from tax.
exactly.
it is meant
exactly.
to keep people poor.
It's
The masses poor.
it's a veil. So people like us who are in public relations understand very well the veil and how it works.
It is interesting that Microsoft,
Yes.
through the owner who is called Bill Gates,
Gates, yeah.
would not give you Microsoft for free.
Yes.
But would give you malaria vaccine.
It's a veil. So the goal is to remain effective and not moral.
Interesting. But in 1994, the same mistake. I don't know, Howie, can you find out what happened to Matiba in 1997? Was he already dead, or what was going on with Matiba? Matiba is not there. People of the internet will tell us. But Moi again, anapitia katikati yao with a big chunk of the vote, 40%, 40.1%. Kibaki, DP, because now Matiba is not there, takes all the Matiba's votes and adds another. Because I think before that, in 1992, right? In 1992, we have, no. I think 1992, I don't know what is going on there. 1992, Matiba, Kibaki had only 19.
Yeah.
But he jumps to 30 in the following elections of 19.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Where was Matiba?
Matiba?
Okay. You'll tell us. But again,
Yes.
Raila is now inheriting his father's votes, but goes even lower than 11% that was garnered by his father. He comes out with a measly 10.8% of the votes. Wamalo Kijana appears from nowhere, not really nowhere, but he actually takes 8. And I'm wondering how Raila could not inherit Luhya votes. That, in 1992, we don't have a Luhya candidate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we?
No, we don't.
We don't?
No.
But then Ngilu, and I'm wondering, where is Kalonzo Musyoka? When Ngilu is a presidential candidate in 19... Perhaps he's with Moi.
He's with Moi at that time. Yeah.
But sometimes people don't. They don't campaign to win. they sometimes campaign for the other election. So maybe that was what Raila was doing at
Or
the
being
time.
told to campaign so that you can divide those votes.
Yes.
That's perhaps what Moi did in 1992.
And that is why when I looked at the paper that we did today,
Okay.
I had a very big criticism on one end that relying on these figures will not be justifiable for me as a researcher.
Okay.
Because these figures were being obtained from a source that was already tainted. The ethical collection of these figures or the ethical collation of the figures was not considered at the point of collation. That is, are we sure that the numbers of votes we're talking about are the actual numbers of votes which were there?
I don't think so.
Correct.
But they give us the optics.
They give us the optics as defined by the person who made them be as they are or as they were. Because by then, we didn't have a proper verification system of the elections results. So we are relying on data which, in my view, was not cleaned. But it is fine for the purposes of the discussion.
Yeah,
for the
but I
purposes-
also think that it actually mirrors the truth. Because if you look at Kibaki,
Yeah.
Fronting himself as the DP candidate and sweeping the entire Mount Kenya, it is more or less 30% of the votes.
Now,
Right?
when you look at it in that fashion, it doesn't represent the reality. For this reason,
Okay.
historically, there are 6 big tribes in Kenya. I don't want to talk about tribalism. It's not tribalism.
Tribe is
For purposes
good. Let's
of
talk about
analysis.
tribalism. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, why run away from it? If you can't run away from Maraga's liturgy, why?
The reality for me is this, Jagero.
Yeah.
That first, the voting style was meant to achieve one mlolongo. It's not verifiable. And there are so many places where the people who are above 50 who are watching us can confirm this.
Okay.
That you're told, line behind your candidate, na picha yake nawekwa. But then,
Picha gani?
picha candidate. So they hold, Jagero's agent,
Okay.
anasema na picha ya Jagero hivi. Then Odhiambo's agent anasema na picha ya Odhiambo. Then you line kwa picha. Then somebody counts physically. 1, 2, 3.
That was beautiful.
Then you find that your line was this short, and my line was even shorter.
Okay.
But I'm declared the winner.
Na watu ya Moi walikuwa wanaona umelaini wapi? Wakutwangi usiku.
Exactly.
So watu wanakuja namna hii.
So Mlolongo system 1.
Okay.
I have issues with the data as they're
Yeah.
presented because I believe
It is not reliable.
What Brian is saying,
Okay.
I think, is part of the reason why Kenneth Matiba also wasn't part of that election, because
Okay.
it states that he took a drastic different political path because of a growing disillusionment. And it states that he viewed as a fundamentally flawed system and a complete lack of democracy under President Daniel Arap Moi's administration. So he decided to boycott the election entirely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
that-
there could be some truth to what
But
that
was-
statement.
that is not representative.
was he also the man that was coming from London?
He was a creation of the national of the special branch
Okay.
back then.
Who?
Matiba.
Matiba.
Yes. It was a creation of the special branch.
Walienda huko kwa airport na bana namna hii.
Nani has told us, Linjiru has told us,
Okay.
Linjiru was the press secretary for President Moi for the longest time. He's told us that they're the ones who organized this. And they went and convinced him, not Linjiru per se, but the agents of President Moi, went and convinced Matiba in his hospital bed that the people want you.
Okay.
And when he came, they created the people. Can I give you a further example?
Yes.
I know ODM people will kill me for this, but let me say it because now I think it's declassified.
ODM.
Yeah, ODM people.
Yes. ODM is done. It's gone.
No, it's still
You can
very
talk
alive.
about it as history.
It's
No?
still very much alive. The party is strong, chama kubwa. So Jagero, do you know if you are a candidate
Okay.
in ODM, when you've been given the ticket or before you're given the ticket,
Yeah.
you'd have a so big support
Yeah.
that you will imagine these are my people. When you go to the stadium, you find the stadium packed, right?
Okay.
And they're supporting you. They say, hey, Jagero, chama ni kubwa. Yeah?
Okay.
The day you go against the Right Honorable Prime Minister, now deceased, you will find the next rally, you don't have even one person. Raila had his people that he sends to your rally.
Really?
Yes, on so many times. Raila would coordinate for his people to come to your rally and support you, so that he would withdraw it as well. Something that many people don't know.
When
Raila leaves you,
it's time to withdraw it, he will withdraw it.
He will withdraw it. When Raila leaves you, Raila would coordinate his teams. Raila's support was very strong because he had the structure to the grassroots. So he would call Vashti. And I've told you this severally, that I was shocked on so many occasions, Raila talking to people who you'd not imagine. You'd think Raila would talk to people like presidents,
Gaucho.
Prime Minister. Now you see, Gaucho. Those are the people he talks to. All right? And he tells them, tomorrow, I know one person came here and talked about this. Raila would say, tomorrow to Kona rally, Jacaranda. No mobilization fee, no nothing. You will say, mzee, mobilization gani? Sema kesho tuko na rally, people will be there. So he would send his structures to you. When you misbehave, he would withdraw his structures from you. And that is how power is maintained. You must have a structure that you can put and withdraw. Anybody who has ever gone against Raila, have you seen them rise?
No.
Because those people are not...
You're completely vanquished.
Exactly. And I want to tell you this as well.
Yeah.
Those who have ever gone against Raila even before his death, in 2027 they will receive the biggest shock of their lives because Raila will withdraw his support, even posthumously. And you will see how it will occur. Yeah.
You make Raila sound like the ghost of 1992.
It's going to be the ghost.
But anyway, something also very interesting with Odhiambo is that in the year 2002, there is something that happens. They come together as one candidate, one landslide. Kibaki is putting all the opposition together, you know, and under the charming and the magic of Raila Odinga. And he garners 62%. Do you know, actually, Uhuru gets more votes than this other opposition before that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Kibaki was the highest at 30%. Uhuru actually gets 31% of the votes, which was really high. Okay, so now we come to the elections post the 2010 constitution.
Right.
The win has to be 50 plus 1% of the votes. Okay? Plus 25% in at least 24 of the 47 counties.
Yeah.
No winner equals a runoff between the top two. A split field no longer hands victory to the leader. It forces a second round. Okay? And this is the issue that we are having here now, because we also have a big pool that is entering the constituency of voters. We have about 14 million or thereabout. You know, and when I heard Gachagua talking about the fact that he's going to command 10 million votes, perhaps he's looking at the 14 million votes. Right? Because Kenyans aged 18 to 34 eligible to vote in 2027, roughly 4 in 5 of that age group. Okay? So we have got an 80% jump growth in voters in 2022 versus that of 2020, in 2027 versus that of 2022. Okay? Yeah. IEBC is not targeting 14 million votes in 2022. In 2027, they are going for a very, conservative number of 6.3 million. That is their target for the new constituency that they want to see in 2027. Okay? So that means that the registry might grow from 22 million to about 28 million. I am not sure, because Vashti is not going to vote. So I'm not sure whether the Gen Z that we are talking about are actually going to show up. Jonte does not even have an ID.
What do you mean I'm not going to vote? You cannot make such serious allegations.
Okay, you tell me, are you going to vote?
I'm going to vote.
You're going to vote? But you don't have a presidential candidate?
Who, I still do not know.
That is don't you find that a bit interesting?
It is interesting.
That 10 months to elections, IBC is about to police a Filimbi, but Gen Zs are saying, and this is not the only one, even if you ask a Chieng, they are very dubious about it. There is no proper answer.
There's no interest.
There is no interest.
Why? What is the interest? The politically active Gen Zs, of course, they're very strong, and they look like they're going to make things move.
Okay.
But the data is showing something different. And me, I don't like sentimentalism. Let's look at the facts as they are.
Yes.
if you want to effect a change, there's the revolution that occurs, okay? And this revolution is not occurring. Unfortunately, it was aborted. And they're seemingly disinterested because of this. There's a hardware-software mismatch in the sense of the registration of voters.
Okay.
Of course, the hardware is old. Okay, the software is iPhone 17. Okay,
The software.
Yes, the software is iPhone 17. But the hardware in ile computer in 1992 nyuma yake imefura. What am I saying? Yeah, na tumbo pia imefura. What am I saying basically is that if you look at the registration, and I've said this before, if you wanted it to work, then you'd make Gen Zs register online because they're aware of processes, and online is easier for them. Social marketing. Now, if you make it difficult for them to register, then they wouldn't show up. And they're not showing up because they don't want to. It's human behavior. They are getting every other service on their phone.
And then you force them with this one service.
And they're wondering, because it doesn't make sense, why do you want me to go and show up and register as a voter in a physical space? I'm going to line up. I can do it like USSD code or internet, mbio. So they don't get it. So that's the software hardware mismatch. Now, is the IEBC, not the government, is the IEBC doing enough to make the Gen Zs register online? No. Why? They're speaking about vulnerabilities, there's lethargy at IEBC, there's policy shifts which have to be enacted, but the Gen Z are not talking about what they should talk about, which for me is make it easier for us to do what? To, number one, register online, and number two, make it easier for us even to vote in by mails, which should be capable, which should be easy to happen. Early voting, that by July, there should already be a structure of early voting where Gen Zs who don't want to show up at the polling station, their IDs can actually be able to be checked at the polling station without them being there. They just mail in their votes. It's happening somewhere else.
I don't like the way you guys have talked about this issue. I'm looking for the correct word.
But I'm defending you even better.
No, you are not defending me. You are man. I'm looking for the right word. Nataka kutumia mansplaining, but it's not mansplaining.
It's mansplaining.
No, mansplaining is for misogynistic people, but they are not. It's because I'm just young, so I wanna let me talk over.
Genosplaining.
You think we are talking over you?
Yes,
but
about this issue.
About this issue of what?
Particularly about Gen Zs.
Yeah. I asked Odhiambo a question I was about to ask you. The problem with you is that I think Odhiambo is right. Because even the way you are reacting to Odhiambo, you are not waiting for him to finish so that you can actually explain yourself. Odhiambo, what do you mean? Odhiambo is talking about the fact that you guys cannot make several steps to a place of registration.
But people came out and registered.
How many?
Almost 2 million people.
Okay.
Came
against
14 million.
Against what? But people came out.
No, let me tell you, Vashti. I'm sorry to say this. I rely on data very heavily. And before I take any position, I look at the data. What is it saying? Because today's world, you cannot work with dreams and sentimentalism. Today's world, you live with data and predict, because it's right there. IBC is saying that there are about how many unregistered people? 14 million Gen Zs? 14 million, thereabout.
Yes.
79.something% of the next election is actually should be determined by Gen Zs. But only out of 14 million, only 2 million.
Can I explain my case?
Okay.
On why I am undecided on who to vote for next year?
Okay.
Personally, the reason why I started supporting Matiang'i is because I want a country. Why are you laughing, Odhiambo? Anyway, I started supporting Matiang'i because I believe in his with his track record, he can make change in our institutions. I believe the biggest problem that we have as a country is that our institutions are not very strong. They are neither here nor there. And for a country to work, we need stronger institutions. And so I thought Matiang'i is now the guy to come and do it, despite his many faults. That's why I was supporting him. And then I'm now looking, because now he's not a viable... Okay, he's not a viable candidate. We have to say me too evil. It looks like his brothers in the United Opposition have said Kalonzo is the guy. And personally, I don't know what Kalonzo stands for. He does not inspire anything in me. So why am I going to vote for Kalonzo? There's no reason for me to vote for him.
Okay.
No good reason. And then now comes Sifuna. Sifuna is a good guy. But mulisikia when Iruka Ngata was talking the other day, alisema, not even the other day, yesterday, on Jeff Koinange live. Alisema for Sifuna to be the president of Kenya, he needs to look for Wamunyoro and other regional leaders for him to be the president kama anataka. That means washaangalia Sifuna wakaona this guy is a very small guy, and the people he represents are very youthful people, so they are not as important. Lazima waende kwa wakubwa, and then now how do watapeana blessings. And we both know that if Sifuna goes to Wamunyoro and Kalonzo, they are going to say he deputizes Kalonzo. And we all know that the position of deputy is that of flower girls. What does the deputy really do? They do nothing. Wanafanya ile kitu wenye boss amefanya. So if I'm going to support now Kalonzo because of Sifuna, and I know that my candidate now, if Sifuna is my candidate, is going to be a flower girl. What is,
but
what is
Odhiambo is relying on data in saying that if you look at the Gen Z protest of 2024 and how they poured in the streets in their numbers, you could feel something palpable. They were coming out and they were very ready to go and vote, okay? And then turns out they're actually 14 million strong, okay? But according to the data that we are having right now, IBC is the first party to not believe them. And even though there are 14, IBC is slashing that number less than half.
And saying realistically
we are only going 6.3 against 14. That is less than half. Number two, IEBC themselves have given them a conservative figure of 6.3, and still we only have less than 2 million registered voters. So then Odhiambo is explaining why you are perhaps disinterested, and he was explaining that.
We are not disinterested.
But what, can you allow him to say why he thinks that?
Okay, but I'm a researcher. I agree with whatever he's saying. Data is very important whenever we are talking about politics, whenever we are talking about anything. But just saying that we are disinterested, why are people disinterested?
Right. So now that's the question. One, there is no reason, unless by aggression, that inspires Gen Zs to turn up and register as voters. I don't know if I should repeat that. There's no reason other than aggression, that there must be something they're aggressive towards. And what were they aggressive towards in 2024? It was the finance bill. It later morphed to the bad governance and Ruto collapsing, yeah? That was the aggression then. Then the aggression has not sustained, because successfully it has been dismembered. And that's political maneuver. You're allowed to dismember your opposition if you want to. All right? Now that happens, then there have been so many other candidates who are representative of the Gen Z dream, right? We had Omtata. You know what happened in this country when Omtata said he was appointing a team that was going to do a feasibility study to see if he is viable for 2027. Kabisa. Then it evaporated. Then now we go to, who else? Maraga. Yes, Maraga is the person. Then next, Matiang'i. Oh, Matiang'i is the person. Then now Sifuna. They are very migratory, because the issues that determine elections are not what they are relying on. They're relying on fast dopamine again. That this is exciting now. That's why even in their purchase or even in their consumerism behavior, Gen Zs and the late millennials are very much onto trends and fast fashion. Trends and fast fashion. That's why companies like Zara, iPhone, etc. are milking big money, because something new comes, Gen Zs will want to go with what is trendy. Now, politics does not go with what is trendy. Politics goes with what is relevant at the moment. Those two are very different. And what is relevant at the moment could be sustaining than what is trendy. Because Jagero could be trending today, tomorrow morning Jagero is out. It's no longer trending. Something else has picked. Okay?
Yeah.
But politics is majorly on identity. That's relevance. Currency. That's relevance. Now, what is the currency of politics throughout? Betrayal, right? Now, if let's look at who is being betrayed in this question. Let's look at what is the sustaining factor throughout for the Gen Zs to come out and vote. What is their issue? It's bad governance, okay? Bad governance can be swayed by something trendy. Jagger, were with you at Kasarani Stadium, and you saw for those days that the president did something about players getting 1 million, etc. And you saw, we also in this country, and the poll then showed that the president's influence rose, his acceptability rose. Now remember, in 2027, just up to about the election, we'll be having AFCON going on. I'm not a prophet, but I want you to look at what will happen then. Unless something so heavy overturns that wave, the gladiators concept in Rome is coming back to play in Kenya.
And now I feel like you are millennial explaining.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, millennial explaining. And now I agree with Vashd. And now you have gotten into the psyche of the Gen Z.
Yes.
All right?
And I think that is what I needed to do.
Yes.
To get into the psyche and understand
But she is a Gen Z. Does she feel like your explanation is right?
She doesn't have to feel like it is right because she has her own perception. Jagiro, the fact is the data is showing, and I'm saying that if Gen Zs were to register en masse, the process of registration must be very easy, must be very simple, must not look like there's much effort to be put in it because Gen Zs don't like putting much effort into it. Gen Zs will resign at work without giving you a notification. You like, where are you? Me jobenyu nimeacha. And that's how they're gone. The process must be as simple as possible for them. And that's what I was saying. There's hardware-software mismatch. And that is working against them. And I'm saying the best thing for them to do is to advocate first that the processes are automated for them. Because they're living in the age of automation. As we're living in the age of people going physical and doing things physically, having files, having what. These guys are even having what I've talked about before, the agentic AI. Okay. Things are automated. So if you're not going to avail the decision process to be easier for the Gen Zs, they will not register in numbers. Okay. That's a fact. So unless IBC says you can register on internet today, how many Gen Zs will register by the next morning?
Many. But now, what do you think, Vashd, about everything Odhiambo has explained? Where do you want to poke?
I feel like you guys have cornered me into talking. You have cornered me into talking and defending the Gen Z, even if I don't feel like defending them. But anyway.
So then, Vashd, please you are a truthful woman.
Do you feel like what I'm saying is wrong?
Just say, because now she has already gone on your side, and I'm disappointed because I thought we were pushing against the wall, but suddenly now she has agreed that everything else is right.
I'm not on Odhiambo's side.
Huh? What do you think? You are not a Gen Z though.
Why did you say that? She's a Gen Z. At heart, she identifies as a Gen Z.
Yeah? No.
She identifies as a Gen Z.
Let her say something. She wanted to say something.
There's a point where I can understand when Brian is looking at the numbers and looking at the facts. I can understand where he's getting that perception, let me call it perception,
right,
of how Gen Z are doing their thing. But I feel there's some crucial matters we're also missing out. When Brian mentioned the system should be made easier for Gen Zs to register and the like, yeah, I totally agree with that. But we also have to look at the other perspective of what is causing Gen Zs also not want to feel like they want to register. There's a level of mistrust that as a country, I believe we have affected Gen Z. Gen Z don't trust the systems. They don't trust what is going on currently. Hence why, even if you create a system where it's easier for them to register, you may still find they will not register. The digital age is here. We can't dispute that. There's that part of it. The other part where I feel Gen Z have lost trust with the system is because, like you mentioned, last year they came out in numbers. A lot of them were very vocal on online platforms. And then after being very vocal, there are a number of things that happened. People being abducted, all sorts of things happened. There's a way Gen Z was silenced. Now, after being silenced, it feels as if Gen Z are now being gaslit to believe that they are a problem or they have a problem. I'm somebody who plays chess a lot. And on the chessboard, there's the piece that is called the pawns. I strongly believe one of the reasons why Gen Z have become disinterested with what is happening and registering is because they've come to realize that they're being used as pawn pieces. When the Gen Z revolution first happened, there was this spur of energy across the country to the point it was cross-generational, it cut across tribes, it removed those lines that had been drawn. And everybody was looking at it like, oh yeah, by the way, we need change. But then immediately after that, it was hijacked to a space where Gen Z were now being used as pawns. Somebody who seemed like a strong Gen Z leader was being pulled from left, right, and center, and all these things were now being offered and given, and promises were being offered and given. And then I believe they've come to realize that, oh, you know what, even if we come in numbers, even if we register, even if we vote, at the end of the day, these political godfathers, let me call them godfathers, are going to use us as pawns. So why not just let the chips lie where they'll lie?
And that's what, and you're agreeing basically with what I'm saying.
I agree with you to a point.
That there's a great mismatch between the hardware and the software. And that's what I'm saying.
But I don't think they're just misinterested for just being Gen Z, and Gen Z they like quitting and they like one at a job.
Let me tell you why Gen Zs must understand what I'm talking about. Is that if you're talking about a political system, you must talk about an overthrow of the system for it to work for you. Now, for you to work an overthrow of the system, you must be interested. There must be desire. Now, since there's no desire to overthrow the political system, not the political regime, those two are very different. Yeah? Because it's not working, correct? You must overthrow the system. How do you overthrow the system? By coming in with your own desires. And one of the desires is to have the registration process made easy for you to make decisions. Okay? As a millennial who is seeing this system is not working for the country, I'm saying the system that I would prefer is a parliamentary system. So I'm working for an overthrow of a presidential system, not a presidential regime as current, presidential system, because it is not serving our interest, because there's no proper watchdogism throughout it. But a parliamentary system will work for me as a millennial. Maybe if I move with it, it could work for the rest. If I convince you that actually a parliamentary system will work for us, then you will see why. Now, for Gen Zs, on this specific question of registering as voters, the system established cannot give the results they want. And the results they want is good governance. The result they want is their employment questions, business made better, human rights respected, etc. If the system that is producing these results is still in state, okay, you cannot expect a different result. You must overthrow the system as is, the political system, and then invite or establish your own system like people did across the world. But as long as they are disinterested, they cannot develop systems, or they cannot develop countermeasures that will help them change that to serve them.
I actually disagree with you. I think there is desire. It's the behavioral part that is giving us a problem.
And what is the
desire
part?
is, everyone is always talking about good governance. Even people came out to protest in 2024, in 2025, all this time. That shows desire. But now the behavior is where I think the word that you were supposed to use was cognitive dissonance. And that is not unique to Gen Zs in Kenya. Because when you talk about good governance, everyone in Kenya talks about wanting good governance. But now, when it comes to voting, we don't vote for good governance. So we should now talk about the Kenyan voter psychology as a whole, not just Gen Zs.
But can I ask you a question, Vashd? Because I feel like every time I speak with you and I speak with other Gen Zs, the feeling is just the same. The feeling of, because in your own words, you're saying that Maraga, first of all, one of the people that are supposed to be loved by Gen Zs is lethargic and is tired. Because he's clean, he's an outlier, he's not from the system. Because Gen Zs have never liked somebody in the system. Then we go to Mr. Boniface Mwangi. All you can say is for me to bring him here. You don't say any other thing about him. You just want him here to explain himself. Okay, Matiang'i, you guys wanted to receive him at the airport. He sneaked at night. You got bored with him, and he's not putting on proper clothes like you'd want. You got bored with him. So now, but anyway, can we go on?
Okay, we want these people. We said we wanted Maraga, we wanted Okiya Mtata, we wanted Matiang'i. They all represent the same thing that Gen Zs want. We want a good system. We want change. But these people, they are also not putting in effort. We cannot do everything for you.
Sorry to interject. Something that deserves my mind bitterly is Vashd and her likes not understanding that systems are established to produce particular results. If you want a different result, you must overthrow the system.
The swamp.
Yes, you must say, like an American question. Like for example.
Before you move forward,
Okay.
what does overthrowing the system look like? Does it look like the Arab Spring?
No.
Does it look like us protesting and then a coup happening? What does it look like now?
You see, that's the perception you have of what an overthrow looks like. An overthrow simply implies that you advocate for changes, small bits that will then have big results at the end.
Like what?
The challenge, like now, the first point for them to achieve a different result is to ensure that registration process by IBC is made easier, number one. Number two, there shouldn't be, Jagiro, by the way, do you know, there shouldn't be a law or a policy that you should register as a voter. Do you know that? What should be, if I were them, I would say this. We are advocating through parliament, through whatever, occupying the media stations, etc., that we want, once you are registered as a Kenyan, or once you have an ID, you are viable to vote. Because why are you being asked to register as a voter? Because voting is a right.
But there are people who have been advocating for that for a very long time.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not being done enough.
And when you say that things should be made easier, you know, when IBC opened voter registration.
Okay, what is wrong with what I'm saying? Because maybe I'm not understanding.
Let me just finish my thought process.
Okay,
when IBC opened voter registration late last year, a lot of people are not going to register as voters. And it's because of what you have said. There were obstacles. You go and look for an IBC office, you don't know where it is. When I say it is at your constituency level, personally, I don't know where my constituency office is at. And then, because I live in Rongai, you are told, as a person from Rongai, you have to go and vote, you have to go and register in Ngong at the disease office. From Rongai to Ngong is about 50 shillings. And don't look at me, angalia ule mtu mwingine mwenye ana hiyo 50 bob, amejikaza leo ampata 50 bob, ameenda huko Ngong, akapata huko Ngong, hawajafungua hiyo ofisi, wamefunga, sijui wameenda wapi. And then now, let me finish.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Let her finish.
Let
All
me
right,
finish.
go ahead.
You now come back
Yeah.
to Rongai, and then now you have to go back another day. And that is why the Nikokadi trend ilianza. People saw the gap that was there. And Gen Zs decided, let us take upon ourselves, tuanze kusema kuna hii Nikokadi trend, so that people can go and vote.
And then
ikafanya mass voter registration.
And then Nikokadi guy was told that he was tribal and he got pissed off and left.
But that is just how Kenyans are as a whole. We don't like people who seem like they are doing well. Tunataka kuwarudisha chini.
Okay.
It's not just a Gen Z.
Okay, so then Odhiambo,
Yeah.
what is happening here is very interesting. People of the internet, let us go into 2027 then. We have the TIFA poll. Okay, as of May 2026, Ruto leads with just 24% of the vote. Kalonzo Musyoka 19, Fred Matiang'i 14, Edwin Sifuna given 10%, and Rigathi Gachagua at 9%. It's so interesting that Sifuna would trounce Rigathi Gachagua in any poll. I didn't expect that. But if you look at what we are talking about are the spoilers, right? So when we look at, I am sorry, but a lot of people are created as spoilers in this research.
Yeah.
So we have Jimmy Wanjigi, who with Safina Party, who is marked a spoiler, and could easily gain 2% of the votes. Right? So he runs what people of the internet should know, Economic Insurgency Third Liberation Platform. He took over Safina Party in September 2025 and planted offices in ODM's Nyanza heartland, Sindio. He's self-funded outsider with real resources, but a thin election base. And I don't know why. Somebody said here the other day, I don't know, we were with you, that Jimmy Wanjigi is that man who does not, work well with the people, with Kenyans. Because of his, using your words, he's very elitist. All right? And then David Maraga is also given, United Green Movement is given 2%, who is also called a spoiler. The former Chief Justice, of course, who vashed things, is tired and should actually be looking after his grandchildren. We have Sifuna, who looks like a kingmaker. All right? He's at 10%. And then we have Okia Mtata, who is also at 1%. Then we have Boniface Mwangi, who is an expander. What is an expander?
An expander, I don't know.
Okay? And then we have Wajakoya, who is a spoiler, All right? It is interesting that Wajakoya is polled at 0.44%. But in 2022, he actually got 61,000 votes. Okay? So then if he had 61,000 votes at 0.00%, how about 2% of Jimmy Wanjigi? How about 2% of David Maraga? How about Okia Mtata at 1%? Pooling. I think that, I'm not sure what this means, but I think together as the outliers, all of them put together, we have also Martha Karua that is not actually here, is on others. Okay, we have Babu Wino, who is registering 4%. So if we had all these guys trying to vie, then effectively they could actually go up to 1 million votes. What is your overall perception of everybody that is going? Do you think that they're going to fall in line and actually line themselves behind somebody like Gachagua or like Kalonzo? What do you think happens?
So one, the winning formula is never changed.
Okay.
Whoever wants to win the election of 2027 must ensure that the winning formula is never changed. What's the winning formula? There are two. In 2002, we saw it, that unity pushes out the regime. Okay? We also saw in days before that, that a fragmented opposition gives the regime a clear win. So these are two possible winning formulas.
Okay.
Whoever effects is going to take the elections. Whoever, be it the united opposition, by omission or by commission, okay, will then hand over this election to themselves or to President Ruto. Now, does President Ruto sleep and think that niache tu majamaa wakue pamoja? Of course, his team is busy looking at how to fragment the opposition further. And people in the opposition are also afraid, who is going to appear like he wants to fight the opposition. You've seen Jimmy Wanjigi already out of that united opposition madness. In fact, madness, as you would call it. He even disputed their budget. That was the alternative budget that was
He said Kalonzo is not serious.
Well,
they need to sit down and think better.
I do agree with him quite much. But you see, because he has Jimmy Wanjigi has a very good.
First, why are you laughing? Do you think anybody that hits at the opposition is helping Odhiambo and his people?
Yes, I think Jimmy Wanjigi is doing it intentionally, and I don't think he wants to win the presidential election, because even he, in his heart of hearts, he knows he cannot win the presidential election. I think he's just looking for campaign money.
No, I don't think he's looking for. I don't think he's looking for campaign money. But I understand Jimmy Wanjigi from the context of he's a businessman. He can't survive much out of government without the government resources, and he's been quite an influencer in the structure of public procurement as it is today. So
looking for money, basically.
Jimmy Wanjigi must find a way of helping the country move forward. I believe in helping the country move forward.
Helping the country.
Yes, helping the country move forward.
How?
He has the best. He has the best manifesto on how the country can move forward. And the reality is, God does not give you all. He gives you some and then snatches you some. He gives you he gives you money, a good teeth, beautiful home,
you hair.
Everything, then snatches you the people.
Yeah.
Or he gives the people and denies you governance skills. Whatever the case. So you need to complement. That's how we complement each other.
Do you actually believe that Jimmy Wanjigi wants to help the country move forward?
I believe so. Truly from his heart, I believe so, because it affects his self-interest. And the self-interest is that he's, number one, remember, for Jimmy Wanjigi, 1 shilling means $1 billion. For you, 1 shilling means nothing. Do you get the difference? That if the rate of the dollar is affected, or if the debt affects us, Jimmy Wanjigi's money, his personal money, which is in billions, reduces in value.
But what does he do?
He's a businessman. He's a farmer, and so many other things, which I don't know. But he's a very good businessman. So I believe that he has very good solution that can help the country. But is he an outlier in this race? Yes.
Somebody's crying in the internet saying, Wanjigi is good for economy. Mayo!
Yeah. Wanjigi is very good. And you see, the reason why I like Wanjigi's style is that as much as it turns out, of course, politically is fragmenting the opposition. But at the end of issues, I think he provides a solid definition and a solid solution to what things should be. And for me, I say this: if the motto, the country in 2024 was sustained, Jimmy Wanjigi and Sifuna joining hands, I will tell you, I believe these two being outliers could change stuff.
You are lying, Odhiambo.
No, could change stuff. What do these two people need? Jimmy Wanjigi has the best of ideas.
Okay.
Sifuna
does not have ideas.
Sifuna, well, he has ideas, but majorly concentrates on the preamble. Because you know, if you are a journalist, you believe every problem can be solved through journalism.
Okay.
Just like
if
me.
You're a lawyer.
If you're a lawyer, you believe everything can be solved through law.
Okay.
So you need to complement each other. Okay. Jimmy Wanjigi being a businessman has a little understanding about economy.
He said that he did not get the 45 million that he has from Wanjigi.
And then Sifuna being a firebrand, you know, and representing what I call, he has the cadence
what
of
about
leadership.
the regional balance?
Now you see that's the challenge. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying being an outlier and with the proper support in the nation, these guys will make a very good combo for me. Personally as Odhiambo. Okay? But the reality of politics is different. That these guys, you know and I know, and everybody else knows, that Sifuna has the best presidential candidacy for 2027. All of us know that. But Sifuna has refused to recognize it himself. He's moved off. He's saying, I want to work with the opposition. In my view, Sifuna would have sat amgeka kitako. Naseme mimi ndiye naenda kuwa rais 2027. Let everybody else negotiate with him, because it is upon his rise that the wicked opposition has been awakened. Now they're all over him.
Because he's polling 10%.
Yeah,
the only member of the opposition that is above him is actually Kalonzo
and Gachagua.
Gachagua is not above him.
No. From my, I don't know what metric we're using for this specific one, because there's the intention to vote, and then there is the popularity vote. These two are different metrics for me, because for me.
So as a researcher and as a scientist, you're reading it differently.
I'm reading it differently. That in terms of intention to vote and popularity, Gachagua is polling highest in the opposition today. Okay, followed by Sifuna. Kalonzo is polling very low. Why? I'm looking at share of voice. And every day, Jagger, I've told you, I monitor share of voice. Who is commanding the narrative online? Who is commanding the narrative in media? Whose name is being mentioned? I look at how many times you're mentioned. And there's a way it's monitored, and we collect in the evening. And we see this guy is polling at this rate.
You know, sometimes I have a problem with people assuming that just because Gachagua comes from Mount Kenya, everyone in Mount Kenya is going to vote for him.
Yes.
If he was to be the presidential candidate, or the regional math that people keep on doing. Like Matiang'i is now from Kisii. Everyone from Kisii agrees with him, which is not true. For ground.
Do you think that you line up Gachagua on the ballot box, he doesn't get 95% of the Kikuyu vote? Do you think so?
He might, because Kikuyu loves wanapenda watu wao. But I also feel like I don't feel like there are some people in Kikuyu land who don't really trust him. Wanampenda akiongea sana, but now when it comes to actually voting for him, inaanza kuleta mshike inasumbua. So when doing opposition math, people assume Gachagua wako na Mount Kenya, Matiang'i yako na huko Kisii, sijui kina natembea lakini hao wana huko kwa
and you see that brings us to a very interesting conversation, which is, are these people spoilers or kingmakers, and what makes them either spoilers or kingmakers? Okay, now let me look for it very quickly. If you look at Matiang'i, he's definitely a kingmaker, because in the analysis that was done today, you look at him strongly having structural support against all these people. He's the one who's having the strongest structural support, and the polling that has been done over the last 6 months is showing him polling strongly at number 2 as a number 2. Okay? That is as a preferred deputy president. He's strongly polling at a number 2 after Kalonzo, after Gachagua, which means he has held that position prominently, and that means he's a what? He's a kingmaker. And for me, he's not a spoiler. Whichever side he will go, he will make the king of that place. Now, Gachagua, the most consequential of this election, he's not a spoiler for me again. He's a kingmaker, because he's most effective at kingmaker. But also, he becomes a definite spoiler if he contests for the opposition.
But the assumption is that if he contests, then everybody else falls behind him.
That will not happen. I doubt if everybody else, and who is everybody else? And remember, The runway has been left for Gachagua to run the highest and the fastest he can. Because until appellate decisions are decided or are exploited, Gachagua still has a good runway to exploit. And that is deciding to run for 2027 presidential elections. And I'm saying if he does that, he becomes a spoiler for the opposition.
And he will not win.
And will not win. So as long as the opposition remains fragmented in any fashion, and by the way, Jagero, the biggest risk that this opposition can do is to go into 2027 election fragmented.
Do you see them do you see them being one? Because before you see them being one, you must ask about the greed and the need to survive, right?
Yes, number one.
So then, if Matiang'i, Kalonzo Musyoka, Edwin Watenya Sifuna, and who else is around there? No, wachana na Natembea.
Eugene Wamalwa.
Yes. How do they? Because I think the biggest bone that all these principals want to chew, when they're asked whether they are going to be number two, is whether they're going. What am I getting? Like, for example, what exactly is Gachagua getting if he decides to follow somebody else? What is he getting?
There's something here that I want you to understand. I learned it from Faith. Okay. She told me about something called cordial hypocrisy that exists in the opposition right now. Cordial hypocrisy is where we know we don't like each other, but we are cordial. Like, I don't like you, but sour. It's mutual mistrust, basically. It runs in the opposition. So I want to analyze this in the context of something I call the prisoner's dilemma. Okay? Where, number one, there's the war of egos in the opposition. There is the party survival question. There's the question of the life cycle of an isotope.
Yeah.
And the individual isotopes here that are forming an element are at war within themselves. Okay? So let's look at who has the longest life cycle in the opposition, first of all. Does Edwin Sifuna have a very long life cycle?
Yes.
Yes. So do you think him running within the opposition is beneficial to him or not?
Beneficial.
It's beneficial, right? Now, Matiang'i, do you think he has a very long life cycle?
I think not long, but you'd say average.
Average.
Yeah.
Do you see Matiang'i relevant in 2032, 2042, 2047 politics?
I would say 2032 is still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Beyond that?
Beyond there, no.
Good. Now, let's look at, and that will influence the decisions, how the others will make the decisions.
Can I just say, I don't think Matiang'i is as influential as people make him.
Come closer to the mic, please.
I don't think he's as influential, and he has a good grasp of the Kisii vote as people make it seem. So maybe 2032, he may be there, but not as strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are not trajectory.
So let's look at Eugene Wamalwa. His life cycle?
Yeah, the same as Matiang'i, the same as Sifuna, but I would say he is more or less on Sifuna's side.
He's a tired, worn-out coat.
Eugene, yeah.
He's a tired, worn-out coat. He's
not young, he's young.
Okay, when we're talking about age.
No, I'm talking about life cycle, politically.
Yeah. Politically, I don't think he's going to be that relevant.
He's always around.
He's
around.
He's always around. He's playing the politics of relevance.
Can I make my case? I used Natembea previously on purpose because without Natembea, Eugene Wamalwa is not as influential in Western. He cannot be even an MP in Trans Nzoia, the county that he comes from. He cannot be a governor. He cannot be anything. So the only person that is.
So why is he always hanging on the coat of Ruto? Why? I mean, perhaps that's why Ruto thought he was useless and did away with him.
Yes, he's a useless guy.
Eugene Wamalwa ni chokora. There is something here.
Eugene Wamalwa has been run out of town. And the rest of them. So what I'm saying basically, all of the viewers know that you can simply look at the life cycle and look at it in the form of a marathon. That who has a longer time to run the marathon and who is sprinting towards the end.
Okay.
Those who are sprinting towards the end are most definitely going to make different decisions. For example, Gachagua is irrelevant beyond 2032 for this reason. That beyond 2032, Ruto will be out of power. All right? And so the object of aggression, which is present in Ruto, will be gone. Okay? So is Gachagua poised to make a decision that will favor him towards 2032? Because he retires with Ruto in 2032. he retires with Ruto in 2032. He's nowhere beyond that. Because I don't think if the Gen Zs here will be able to associate with him beyond 2032. Okay?
Yes.
Kalonzo, his life cycle is basically done. These are people who die for him.
He's on his last stretch.
Last stretch. He's in the final. The bell has been rung. It's 200 meters. He's sprinting towards the end. And so he has to make a very sober decision in 2027. Now, all these things come to only one question, the game theory. How do you solve the game theory? Because there's a problem here. It's something I call wait and see approach. Okay? How do you solve a wait and see approach that the opposition is adopting now? You have to have something called a commitment device. Where as the opposition, you rely, and I repeat, you rely on a mathematically backed formula to determine
not
a
consensus.
candidate. Not consensus.
That's what Matiang'i wants.
Not consensus, because consensus gives us weak candidates. Go for a mathematically backed process. It will give you the correct person.
But everybody thinks they are Matiba.
Who is a Matiba?
All of them think they are Matibas.
That's why I said there's cordial hypocrisy in the opposition. And that's what I was talking about.
Cordial hypocrisy.
Yeah, the question of vultures sitting in one room waiting for the child to die.
But you're not answering my question, though.
Which is?
How do they line up? I mean, they're lining up here. What are you giving them?
And that's what I'm telling you.
If you are to, you have got a loaf.
And that's what I'm telling you, that egos must die in the question of math. If you are going mathematical, kill your egos. Kill these variables which are not helping and agree on how to move forward. If the truth, the solution, and the desire is to uproot President William Ruto, okay, you must absolutely focus. Focus, Jagiro. And in focusing, you cannot avoid distractions like, I'm the most popular, I'm the richest, I'm the one with the best teeth, I'm the one with the best car. You must avoid that. Mm-hmm. You must look at what is the number saying. Because at the end of the day, you can't tell me you're having 1 million votes and you want me to back you for presidency. If the math is not showing that you're electable, step down. Let us have somebody who has the votes.
So you are going with the tribal arithmetic.
I'm not talking about tribal arithmetic.
How are you reaching at 1 million?
Now that is a mathematical formula that they devise.
They should devise among themselves.
They must get a proper, credible person to help them arrive at that.
In polling.
A credible person. And not polling on popularity. Polling at conversion.
What is the difference?
Popularity is what I've always said. People go to the market every other time. And when you go to the market, there's always this acrobat with a bike moving around and showing people some pink powder and red powder and trying to tell people how drinking Coke is wrong and drinking water is good, etc. You know, of course, there's some element of reality in it. But are they both? There are so many people around the acrobat, okay? But at the end of the day, people don't buy the acrobat stuff. What do people buy? People buy bananas, the fish there, the nyama, huku, small. So the person that has the best purchase and the best product is the one that people go with. Now, if you go for popularity, you may end up with an acrobat.
Okay.
Who at the end of the day...
Who is your acrobat?
I'm not having a figure yet. But I'm saying you may end up with an acrobat. You know, mathematics is not guesswork.
Yeah.
You must go down to the figures and develop formulas that are going to actually work. And get reputable people who will help you arrive at a decision. Now, if the opposition fails to do that and they rely on sentimentalism, like I see most of them doing, they will hand over this presidency, second term, very easily to President Ruto.
Okay. The independents are likely to win, but they will shape who does. Individually, Wanjigi, Maraga, Umtata, Mwangi, Morara, Jakoya are first-round minnows, which are at about 2% of the vote or less each. Collectively and combined with a fractured coalition and a split of ODM, they create exactly the fragmentation that delivered the presidency to Moi in 1992-1997, right? With one decisive modern twist. Because of the 2010 constitution, as we have already seen, 50+1 and offers a runoff, their splitting effect is more likely to deny Ruto a first-round win than to directly gift it to him, correct? The danger to the opposition is therefore not round one.
Yes.
You know? But round two.
Yes.
Whether a sprawling, ego-laden anti-Ruto universe can do in 2027 and on what it did in 2002. Unite behind one person. So, crucially, not all independents play the same role. Maraga and Wanjigi mostly redistribute existing anti-Ruto votes. Do you agree?
Absolutely, 100%.
Spoiler risk.
Yes.
Sifuna is genuine kingmaker who controls a real bloc. and the activist mobilizers.
Though I doubt if he controls a real bloc.
Yeah? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
A real bloc.
What does a real bloc look like in Kenyan elections?
We can only see it the first time in 2022, 2027. So we can only hope.
And that's what I'm asking you, hypothetically.
Yeah.
What does a real bloc look like empirically?
Kizungu mingi bwana.
Okay. By evidence, by evidence from the past. Let me put it simply. By evidence from the past.
Sometimes speaking English, you didn't go to school, bro.
But by evidence from the past.
Okay.
What can we hypothetically say? This is what the future is looking like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking you, or Vasht. In terms of voting bloc, what makes a voting bloc in Kenya?
I think Sifuna is relying on again. It takes us back to what we have squabbled about.
Right.
And that voting bloc appears to be the 14 million that IEBC conservatively puts at 6.3 million, which realistically is now around 2 million. That is the block that probably...
But why are you saying 2 million? And some Gen Zs are among the 8 million votes. People who didn't vote last election.
We're just talking about a block.
Yes, I'm just saying they are part of that block. Where are we just saying it's 2.3 million?
Okay.
Tunaacha wale wengine wapi?
Yeah, but Sifuna was not there when they last voted, right?
Yeah, he was not there, but they're inspired now to vote.
Your problem, Vasht, is that every time we talk about Gen Z, you think that it's an attack on the constituency.
Okay,
I don't think it is an attack on the constituency. It is just that
let me ask Vasht a question.
Okay.
We are asking the question of defining what a voting bloc looks like.
Okay.
Right? What is the homogenic factor that unites the Gen Zs?
Issue-based politics.
Issue-based politics. What is the issue?
The need for change.
It's been there from 1963 when the young men then were clamoring for independence. It was need for change.
Yes, there was, but maybe it might be different.
Is it true? Is it true that now Gen Zs are retreating back into tribal cocoons?
Okay, Gen Zs have always been tribal. To answer your question.
They've always been?
They have always been tribal. To answer your question.
Do you think,
just
before as you answer, do you think that in 2027 they're going to vote within the tribal cocoons as they're doing now in the campuses, university campuses?
That is a very complex.
What is your feeling?
What is your feeling?
What is your feeling about?
Let's go
my
sentimental.
Feeling.
Yes.
My feeling.
you know, I've never known Vash to be this argumentative and deflective. But today I'm seeing her in her real colors. She represents the perfect Gen Z that we have today. If you want to see a Gen Z, just look at Vasht. This is very dishonest. Is not a truthful woman. Anyway, Vasht.
Anyway, ni sawa tu.
What? There's something to say.
I'm saying
that is slander
and smear campaign.
Yeah.
So there's an emerging reality. You know, for me, the work that I do here is very simple, Jagero.
Yeah.
To just point at the issue as it is, because there's no need of us trying to sugarcoat stuff.
But I agree with you. I also feel like
there's a quick departure. There's a quick departure by the Gen Zs to identity, because at the end of the day, Vasht, whatever makes you who you are is your identity. Now, your identity could be, and I'm saying this with a lot of confidence, that Gen Zs, whatever could unite them, and whatever has to unite them is a revolution. Because Gen Zs go with momentum. When you pierce the momentum, then it dies off. Okay? Now, the momentum of 2024 was unsustainable. If it was sustainable to the extent of overthrowing the regime, then today we'll be talking about something else. Look, study the Gen Zs, Jagero, worldwide. Those Gen Z's effects that have been effective in terms of an effective outcome, that means an overthrow of a regime, how have they happened? Quick, within months or within weeks, they overthrow by actually moving into the state, whatever. And they care less about the guns, etc. But why did Kenyans abort?
Because they care about the country.
They care about the country. You're sure they care about the country?
Personally, I care about the country.
Okay, so
and I wouldn't have wanted to be in a case where there is where there is a
Fracas.
Yes. Because
is fracas?
I know. For example, when you talk about the Arab Spring, Libya had a revolution, and after the revolution happened,
Egypt also had it. Egypt is strong.
but nothing.
Tunisia had it. The economy is strong.
But if you look
Stronger than ours.
at the expectations that people had
Yes.
of the revolutions that they wanted, it does not meet the expectation. Like Libya is now a failed state after killing Muammar Gaddafi.
That's one amongst many. The other
yes.
Arab states are strong.
Sri
The economy
Lanka.
doing better than ours.
Is Sri Lanka good?
Yes,
It
very
is
good.
not.
In fact, they're picking very strongly. Madagascar, just the other day, they pushed out the president, and quickly there's another president doing very well so far.
Personally, I was concerned at the
Yes,
time
yes.
that if we have a military leading us, we might not have a country after all. But I also agree with you that in 2027, I have a feeling that Ruto might win easily.
He will get it very easily.
Because there might be voter apathy. Na hii inatokana tuna hii mambo ya Gen Z. We don't see someone who is representing our aspirations.
And can I tell
But
you?
that is exactly what
What we have
William
been
was saying
saying.
in the
Yes. Now I'm
beginning.
agreeing. I'm
And you
agreeing with
refuse
you.
to agree.
I'm agreeing with him
That's
now.
exactly what he said.
You
That-
guys
that-
wanted me to defend Gen Zs. Now I was defending them. But I agree with
It is
his
difficult
sentiment.
because there's no homogeneity. Now, once there's lack of homogeneity in a base, then you can't define that as a block. Whatever defines a block is homogeneity. Homogeneity simply means an identification that is shared across a large population. In most, somebody has told me here online that Gen Zs don't speak in their different tribes. Who told you? They speak their languages. They speak their individual, ethnic, whatever.
Yeah.
And their parents and the government and whatever, whoever has succeeded,
Are
you know,
whispering.
you belong to.
They are whispering.
You belong
And
to. Today,
so,
just go ahead.
there is also something interesting that almost 30% of Kenyans are not decided. 30%.
You
Almost.
being one of them. Are you decided? By the way, mlikuwa mnanionea sana. Are you decided, Jageru?
About what?
About who you are going to vote for in 2027?
Well, who is asking?
I am
It depends on who's asking.
Tuambie.
Eh?
Tuambie. Who are you going to vote for?
About my presidential election.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Who are you going to vote for?
I am like Gen Zs.
Deflection.
You are just cornering me.
No, but it was about you. You are the one on the table. It is your age group that was on the table, not my age group. And when my age group, I'm an outlier. I always make fun a lot. And I'm always posting the picture of Ruto on social media and saying my favorite nylon.
Yes.
And people are always telling me, I know you are lying. It's not your favorite nylon. For me, I don't look at politics sometimes the way a lot of people look at it. Recently, the other day, I was talking to somebody in the village, and we were talking about the MCAs that we should have. And they were counting the ones that have been there, and they were saying, silly, nothing, blah, 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 blah. And he was rubbishing all of them. But also, I am always around home when elections are at its peak.
Right.
And I hear what people are always saying. The last person that the people were really, really loving is a gentleman called, what is his name? Our current MCA, I've forgotten his name.
Daddy.
Yeah?
Vin Daddy.
Jim, yes, Vin Daddy.
Yeah.
Vin Daddy came with the 3 V8 cars.
A lot of
One
money.
was only carrying money.
Yeah.
And he was lining people and giving them a lot of money, 2,000, 1,000. In fact, on his launch, he even had governor sitting down. An MCA launching his bid. He had drones taking pictures. He slaughtered 12 cows. Okay, and he would line up people, and if you're pregnant, you're given double. All right? So that is the nature of our politics. And I was asking some people that, what is it that you told Vin Daddy that you want happen? Because our problems are very few,
Water.
but very dire. We are drinking from River Nyando,
Yeah.
number one. We do not have dispensaries or clinics.
No
We
roads.
they have no roads. So the Amo has come to our place. He's crying. Where am I going? Where am I going? It meanders go gaping. In fact, there is a guy who has made his own road.
Yes.
Just the other day, he came and put 7 million and made his own private road na akaweka kifunguo huko kwa lami. Huwezi ingia, ameweka ufunguo nyororo.
I like that.
So that is the situation. So every time, yesterday we were talking about Ruto. And Mr. Kachola Gordon, who is representing Ruto, had a lot of problems explaining a few things to Alex Matere about the things that the government is doing. And one of the things that came out was that when on the 10-point agenda that he inked with the now deceased, Mr. Raila Amolo Odinga, was that he was going to improve the distribution of funds to the people down, past 25%. Now, he has not done that. But Odhiambo is supporting him for awarding himself 3 times the budget for military, from 290 to 700 billion.
That's not true.
And then, now, he's taking that money and building markets with it. Nyasona, Gladys Wanga, another of Odhiambo's friends, is building a toilet, a $2 train. Ile ya inje, ile ukienda Suna inakukayo, uko inje. Ana bill na 600,000.
No,
One,
500,000.
2 door.
500,000.
Hiyo kitu mimi nimejenga kwangu. It did not even cost me 50,000.
That is you. That's a government sanctioned toilet.
Anyway,
That
So
thing you overtold me is not a
anyway,
toilet.
what I am telling you.
Yeah, the shit is different.
So anyway, what I'm telling you, and then you present to me a few of these people. You present to me Maraga, and I'm wondering, oh my God, what am I going to do with Maraga? All right. Then you present me Sifuna, and I've talked about Sifuna here several times, and I've asked questions. Yesterday, Alex Matere was here and was forcing me to talk about Linda Mwananchi, but I wasn't able to say anything because I don't think enough to say you. They are very pissed off at us, and plus the whole podcast that we are always putting them in bad light, including you, Queen Vashti. Now you are going to hear from Maraga's people. So I am in that area whereby I want to see what they really want to do, because for me, I think that I need better. When you look at the things that Ruto is doing, by the way, you look at Rironi Mau Summit, you look at the stadiums, you look at all the shiny stuff, according to Sifuna, okay? There is a thinking that Ruto is trying to do something, right? Ruto went to Kwale. Ruto has gone to the very deep, the places where other presidents have not gone. And it looks like he's trying to do something. Right, yesterday, Gordon was saying that Ruto is trying to lay the foundation for the next 100 years.
Yes.
A very lofty statement. And I'm wondering, Gordon, really? So this fellow Nilot of mine, I like him, but I've got a lot of question marks about some of the things.
What is the question marks that you have?
The question mark, for example, I don't like the way he's trying to do his projects and developments. What I don't, there are things that were devolved by the Constitution. Things like building markets, all right, for Gladys Wanga in Homa Bay and Machakos.
You come from Kisumu. Your governor is doing dismal there. Why don't you consider on your governor and leave our governor alone? You don't know the pain. As people of Homa Bay went under Governor Chila Uzaweti. You don't know. So leave us with our Wanga alone.
Let me talk
However,
let me talk my
just
governor.
Just a minute. However lame she is, however silly she may look, however extravagant she looks, that lady has removed us from collecting 300 million on source revenue to 1.6 billion in 3 years.
And then uses it to
you
build
go and question Kisumu that we left at 1.4 billion on source revenue collection. Today they're doing 400 million. You go and question your county and your governor, who is a professor there. Leave our Homa Bay alone.
See now,
yeah,
the professor is worse than Wanga.
Yes, no, that's the point. That's
Odhiambo is celebrating mediocrity.
Absolutely, because it is better than what we
Odhiambo
it is better than what we had. You know, ganda la mua la jana, chungu kaona kivuno. You get it? For you,
Why is you just laughing at me when you talk in Swahili?
Anyway.
So anyway, what I was telling you, Odhiambo, the thing is, I want Ruto should tweak a few things and be honest about what, first of all, is gallivanting a lot. Gallivanting and saying that I'm the top diplomat. You know? So that is where I am. you know. And from somebody who has never voted for Raila Odinga, I think I need to make up my mind properly in 2027 if I'm going to vote for a candidate.
For me, I only have one question, Jagero. What did Uhuru do with our money? Only that. That's the only question.
Uhuru?
Yeah.
Uhuru?
No, it's the only question I'm asking. Where's the Uduma? Where's the Uduma number?
I believe
7 billion.
Uhuru's presidency was criminal.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why also Ruto has not gone after him. The EACC has not gone after him.
Because they're both criminals. They're both criminals. So a criminal
and Matiangi, who 7 billion disappeared under Uduma number, is not a criminal. He's very clean, deserves to lead this country. I support such people. I support such people.
Anyway, can I absolve myself?
Okay.
I know I've been very wishy-washy.
Okay.
Tonight.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah, very wishy-washy.
For sure.
I'm 24.
Okay.
I'm 24 years old. I started being interested in politics when I was very young. At 19, nikiwa campus, you know, I studied psychology and political science.
Okay.
So I have a good grasp of political processes around the world and in this country.
Okay.
And after studying easy mambo ya politics, I don't believe in the system. I don't believe that if to vote 2027, there's change that is going to happen. Because everyone there are for their own private interest. So wewe ukienda hapo hivi unadanganywa, what is in it for you?
Because I most of the Kenyans, when you tell them that a presidential candidate is not good enough, or for example, me, I never believed in Sakaja, the Dimple man. Never believed in him. I never thought that he would amount to anything. Look at Sonko. Gosh, we have had very bad leaders. And then you look at these other ones that are trying to be president of this country. Even if you look at their websites, there is nothing there at all. So Ruto is the only presidential candidate.
And now you understand why I'm mad at Sifuna. I'm not mad at him because I don't like him. I'm mad at him because he's being mediocre, whereas he has a perfect chance to go for it and do something important for this nation. But he does not believe in himself.
Ruto is documenting a lot. Have you seen Ikulu Weekly? No. Wakuna Ikulu Weekly.
But he's doing a fantastic job politically.
It's not just politics. I mean, you see,
win
it's like you know, Vashna is behaving like election deniers of 2020 in America. Who are saying
election deniers?
Yeah, election deniers. Who are saying Trump won?
Sound like genocide deniers.
Yeah, like genocide deniers in Rwanda. You know, these are development deniers who are saying nothing is happening. And I've said before, in propaganda, of which I'm a very good one at, we say the one who defines what the election is about controls the narrative of that election and then wins that election. In this sense, if the opposition will define what this election is about, then they will win that election. But if Ruto defines what this election is going to be about, he will win that election. How is that so? If Ruto goes about and says, I want to talk about my development, I want to talk about change, I want to go to the grassroots, Mali, it is not expected change to happen, and to go there and do that change, and I focus my election to be about development, that election will be about development. Now, if we focus this election to be about one term, what else? One term, how many times? Are people going to get tired and ask, what next? Because now one term tumekubali, what next?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we take calls? Hata kama ni mbili tatu. Watu wanaongea huku kwa internet, my friend. Hey.
They are not happy.
They are not happy with what? Even Ruto is a criminal. Odhiambo is so intelligent, but he suffers dismissive syndrome. I agree.
My apologies to it.
Uhuru is the owner of Matiangi. That is Mzalendo 9. Omega is saying opposition has the votes of 5 tribal communities. Gen Z votes because majority will also vote for Ruto after the 2024. Okay, there are so many things that people are saying. First time I agree with Odhiambo. Jagero, you have beef with Wanganya Sona. Wacha kuwa, I don't know what they are saying. I don't know what he said. But somebody's already calling. This gentleman. I don't know. Hello? Just a minute, sir. I think he left. You guys disconnected him, or what happened? What needs to happen is that the line for the call needs to be up, and then this one needs to be a little down, so that we can hear ourselves. Hello?
Hey, Jagero.
Hello?
Hello, Jagero. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, Jagero.
Yeah?
Hello. Yes, Jagero.
He's not speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Let me hold my name, and I want to say thank you for bringing up.
And where are you
Vash
speaking from?
At least, I'm from Dubai.
We're from Dubai. Go ahead. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, the thing is, I want to tell Vash because I think Vash is this generation. So I want to talk to Vash on behalf of her generation that we should agree why things happen the way they happen. You see why we don't have this political fund. This it was called political something. The funding of the political party of the campaign is because of this thing of tokenism. And you see, the Gen Z, they have fallen to it. So for me, I feel like, can we try now? If they want to change this one, then they should be able to fund the political parties. We can say that we can fund the next regime, and then the next regime will be answerable for us. So that one will bring the changes. But we want to work on the old system, and then we bring changes. It will never happen. It will never happen, and we remain the way we are, and we remain poor the way we are because they have not the system. That's why you see, even the Gen Z, they were infiltrated. The faces which were there on the lens of the cameras, they have been bought. All of them. Now you can see they have the site, and they speak for the site very strongly. In fact, now they have the party, they have the tribe, they have whatever they say that they didn't have, now they have. About Sifuna, I would like to say, and before I go to Sifuna, I want to say that Jimmy Wanjigi is the only person who is answering the right question, but he's not popular. And this is the problem that we remain with it forever. As long as we will not talk about the odious debt, we will remain. Can you see how Omtata yesterday, he was attacked by the parliament because he talked about the real thing that is affecting us, odious debt, and he was told to substantiate. And he said he will substantiate. But what does the Senate want? They want him to bring the clip, and then the speaker go to his office, check, and then he come back and he said, already he substantiated. But Omtata saying, no, I want to substantiate in front of cameras, in the house, so that it goes on record that I substantiated to everyone, so that everyone can understand. So for me, I feel that Omutata, who has gone to the course to challenge the odious debt, and Sifun and Wanjigi, they are answering the right question about the next election, because any president, we choose any president, whoever we want, and he doesn't address the issue of odious debt. We are dead as a dodo. We should not even talk. We should not even complain. We should not. Can you tell me, you see now, the next budget, it has a deficit of 1.1 trillion. And you hear that when a person goes to the presidency, the first thing he buys is a bank. In fact, a loss-making bank. But as long as he's sworn in, the bank started making profit. Can we ask ourselves, how does this bank make profit? It makes profit through our money. And in fact, it doesn't record any customer. So this odious debt, you see the deficit we have in the next budget, 90% of this debt will be taken locally. Okay. Can we ask ourselves which bank will take this? Which bank will take this loan? Because the deficit is the debt, is the coming debt for the next budget. So then they will borrow from this bank with our money, and then we'll start paying this bank interest.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
In a country, wait, 1 minute. In a country where
30 seconds.
In a country where we are supposed to take loan for development, the loan we are taking, we don't know what they do. But the development is PPP. PPP is a business. Someone go register his business. He say he want to build he want to build airport, and then he start making money out of that airport. That is where we are leading, and we will remain poor as long as we compare with them. Thank you so much.
All right. Hello.
Hello. How are you guys?
We're all right. What's your name? Where are you calling us from? Sounds like Juja.
Yes, Juja, as usual, as always.
How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, so on the Gen Z question, I wanted to chime in a little bit.
Okay.
Personally, I'm a millennial, and when Odhiambo was saying that
how far back?
Is, the last born millennials.
Okay. That is 96. Okay, Sawa.
Yeah. So the indecisiveness that is affecting Gen Zs, I think it's also with some of us, especially those are not leaning towards Ruto and waiting to see how the opposition realigns. And you remember on Sunday when I called, I told you about that interview that Sifuna was in on Mike Check podcast. And he actually addressed the issue when he was asked how is they're accommodating the Gen Zs when their form of campaign or these rallies they're going to is the traditional style of physically availing themselves in a location when Gen Zs are online. And I think Sifuna is waking up, or he knows because he's a smart guy. He knows what's going on. So he asked if we have to struggle, he said something along the lines of, if we have to struggle to force someone or coerce someone or beg someone to take a vote, is this person really going to convert to be a voter? So maybe when they sit within themselves, they also know that these kids are not likely going to vote. So maybe we just focus on the traditional ones, because they said in their rallies, the only thing they've seen that was not there previously was there are way more young women in their rallies, and there are also some young men. But if they have to be confined to the online space kind of, then I don't think they're really focusing on that quite much, because they know that's not where the conversion is from a voter, from a registered voter to now someone who can wake up in the morning and go and cast a vote.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello.
Yes.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from, sir?
Thank you. This is Ajuoga from Nairobi.
Ajuoga from Nairobi. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Now, I just want to come say one thing, just only one, then I'll leave the other for the callers.
Okay.
I'm a bit disappointed that the current generation that we really think that can help us move forward as a country can be deterred by the fact that they've gone to a polling station to where they're doing registration, and because they came with 50 bob and it's not open, now they're not able to come back again and register as a voter. The Gen Zs need to understand that during the multipartism politics, there was persecution. There were people who were even exiling the country, coming back again to change the political status quo of the country. But if they can be deterred by small things like someone comes up with a good initiative and then when it's called tribal, now he coils his tail and then now retrieves back because of that. I don't think this group of generation.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm assuming that you're not Gen Z, perhaps millennial or Gen X. Okay.
Yes.
Why are you desperate for Gen Z taking the votes and actually voting in 2027? Do you think that the country has been let down by millennials and then Gen X, and do you think that it is the Gen Z that can actually come out and make sense of our elections?
Now, that is true. Now, in every particular time of change, like for example, we had in 2002, and then we had back during the multi-party politics in 1992, there was a group that were responsible for that particular change. And those particular groups have evolved and now become the politicians we have. And they, to some extent, what they were fighting for came to fruition. But now we are having a generation, because we are relying on them right now. The reason why we are relying on them, because this particular kind of generation, they are more into tech, they are more into analysis, they are more into data, and they're able to look at those data and be able, they know what needs to be done to change. But now they are not being aggressive about it. So I feel like personally for me, I don't have an issue with the presidency, but I have an issue with the parliamentary system, whereby the MPs that we vote in. Now, and I feel that Gen Zs are very capable of coming up with the right members of parliament, and those particular the parliamentarians can be able to put the executive on check, and then the judiciary and all aspects, because the problem is not the executive. The problem stems from the parliament.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Hello?
Hello, are you okay?
Yeah, we okay. What's your name and where are you calling us from, sir?
My name is John. I'm calling from London.
You're calling from London?
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, unfortunately, it might sound like we are pontificating.
Okay.
What we're doing is that we are speaking arrogantly. Sorry. And this is in regards to how guys are viewing the country and where the country is headed to. Now, if you happen to live abroad, you kind of understand the magnitude at which the country is suffering.
Okay.
The number of calls that people abroad here, and it's not myself only, a number of people that I've talked to, there is a lot of problems back at home. The country is wallowing in trouble. The people are not able to put food on the table. When we're here trying
Did we lose him? I think we did. Yeah, you've been laughing at them. Well, you've been really laughing at them. What became of? It is Odhiambo. It is. It is Odhiambo. It is Odhiambo for sure. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. We can hear you. Hello? The calls are getting dropped or something. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is James. I'm calling from Kiambu, Lower Kabete.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to make this point that Odhiambo should know that Gen Z are the most radical group of people that we have in this republic. These are people who are extremely informed. So you can never say that they do not care about the political status.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is, most of them do not believe in these systems, whether it's political, whether we are looking at the judges, we are looking at the activists. They have no trust with any of them. And so what they really want is a transformative resolution. And what we are saying is, democracy is as good as it can assist you. What I mean is, if we had economic rights, like proper economic rights, without democracy, we wouldn't need democracy in the first instance. You understand?
Okay.
Yes. And so what we want is, what the Gen Z want is radical change. And so presenting all these options of a political system that has failed, Baba being an example, who has failed being leader of this country for his entire political career, he never really benefited from those fruits of democracy. And it is on the same table, or the same structures, you want these young people to believe in. And so there's a huge mistrust. And saying that Gen Z do not care is, I think it's grave. It's a crime. It's a crime saying they do not care, because they do care. They care too much. That's why they are radicalized. That's why they would come out for a revolution in 2024, but refuse to come to an election in 2027. And so presenting to them an option like Sifuna, they do like him, but they understand there is a lot of mistrust. It is the same thing with the activist. You understand that someone has been an activist for so many years, probably he's a good person, but they see him as part of a system.
All right.
And now, yes, and during the revolution that we had, the 2024, there were suggestions that were made on how to take the country forward, and there has been very good suggestions, which I haven't seen being talked about. When you talk like about people like Wanjigi, you can tell they are part of the old guard. So it is almost impossible to bring these people together and rally towards a leader. That's why today they're with this one, tomorrow they're in this, because they can sense it.
Right.
They can literally smell the defeat.
Thank you. All right. Hello. Good evening. Where are you calling us from? What's your name?
Leonard Masika.
Okay.
Calling you from Nakuru.
From Nakuru. How is Nakuru, sir? Is it warmer than Nairobi?
Nakuru is warmer as at now.
Okay.
We thank God for everything.
All right. What do you think about issues that you've talked about? You've talked about spoilers. You've talked about kingmakers.
Now, when it's a question of kingmakers, as far as 2027 is concerned, the only person that is there right now, especially from the mountains, to determine who becomes the president is Gachagua.
Okay.
Because as much as people may despise him, but he carries a very huge number of voters from the mountain.
Okay.
Number two, like I mentioned before when I called, that yes, Gachagua is in the impeachment process, and of course right now as it stands, he cannot vie for president.
Yeah.
However, he may determine who becomes the president.
All right.
And of course, like I mentioned before, that DCP came up, and actually it's likely to become one of the new formed political party, and become the people leading this country from the DCP.
All right.
Number one, you saw Irungu Kangata, and from the interview we saw with Jeff Koinange in Citizen TV, he has really banged on Gachagua, that he is there to determine who becomes the president in this country. And looking at it, he may coax Irungu Kangata to do what? To be in the DCP, and becomes the deputy president of who will become the president.
Oh,
now,
is that so? That is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And some people should not lose hope in our country, because of course we have been there to see a president coming in and getting out. Like if we can
but then would Irungu Kangata would have to sit down and think about whether he wants to be a second-term governor or risk it all and throw his weight under another presidential candidate. It looks to be like a loss to him.
Apparently, from the mountains, we don't only see Irungu Kangata. There is indeed Nyoro.
Yeah.
Yes. What if he joins the DCP?
He could. He has not joined DCP yet?
Yeah, he has not yet. And of course, looking at it, the situation on the ground, the only party that is likely to take the mountains people to the government is DCP.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So let me land, please, kindly.
In finishing, there are lots of people. We have got 45 calls coming in since you last started speaking.
Okay. The point is that I mentioned Irungu Kangata, but still Gachagua may use Ndindi Nyoro to deputize whoever becomes the president.
Okay.
And that in this case, Sifuna is likely to be the flag bearer of the United Opposition.
All right. Okay. We have to go to another caller because there are so many of them. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Yes, good evening. How are you doing? I imagine it is afternoon on the other side. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Name is Brian, calling from Durham, North Carolina, RTP. Jagero, right?
Yes.
Oh yes, thank you. I'd like to agree with Odhiambo. And I'd like to tell Gen Z one thing. No pain, no gain. First, cannot sit there and say, fair, 50 bob. That's the reason why they can't vote. And things should be made easier for them.
Okay.
No. They have to work for it. And this is not me dismissing them or saying that they are lazy or anything, but they need to mature up and realize if they are not going to fight for it, nothing comes on a silver platter.
All right.
They must, if they want to, go for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. I think that is good. It has been very, very good. Odhiambo, thank you very much for coming today. Vasht, thank you very much for coming. Ulitutesa sana, but it's Ryan.
I think next time, next episode, we need to really discuss the true problem that Kenya has, which is the common Kenyan voter who went to the polling station, and how we can correct that.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
I like Vash.
You want to add something? Yes. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Tell them what it is about.
We started doing a morning show last week, and we talk about politics too. Whatever Jagero and the others don't discuss in the evening, we discuss in the morning. Me, Masete.
What are you guys talking about tomorrow? You do already know?
We are talking about the county assembly, the role that the county assembly and MCAs have to play in governance. So it's an interesting conversation. Tune in.
All right. I always tune in. See, I give you feedback.
Yes,
I always tune in and I give you feedback. Thank you very much, Howie. Thank you very much, Mr. John Tess, and the Bunga that was on the camera. Peter, who is doing everything, the lady that is giving us tea and everything else. Today we had a very, very nice meal. Chicken, Odhiambo. You missed it.
You had lunch alone.
Even me, I didn't have that chicken.
Now, I was eating grilled fish and nice
omena
stuff. No, grilled fish you can't eat with omena. They don't be a kissy.
Omena here. Omena. John Tess, you don't eat omena? Hey, so things are good here, Odhiambo. Don't be worried about, you cannot, I don't think you can ever compare chicken and omena.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Omena is very good. It's good for fertility.
Good for what?
Fertility. It's very good for sleep. Omena is very good for your brain.
Who is this guy? Omena is good for fertility. I didn't know.
Yes, of course. If you eat omena, you're always horny. You didn't know. Omena is really good for fertility. You didn't know.
Omena is not a psycho.
It's a psychedelic.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Omena.
Every time you eat omena, you want to sleep. Why, bro? Eat omena in the afternoon and then you'll definitely sleep.
Okay, there's psychedelics, then there's the other one I'm forgetting about. It's not an aphrodisiac.
No, it's not.
So it can't make you... It just makes you sleep.
People of the internet, it's always nice having you guys here. You are the stars of the show. Thank you for gathering around the fireplace and helping us dissect and listen to these issues that are affecting our country. Please consider subscribing. If you are not subscribed, please like our lives when we go live. You can share them, okay? And you can also share our videos. If you want to appear on this podcast, you can always apply on Dialogues with Jagero /apply. It's not like a big application. We just need to hear what you have to say. Your picture, we'll grab your contacts and so on and so forth, and somebody will reach out to you. If you're in the United States, you are in Germany, Canada, and everywhere else, and you want to speak here, you can actually request that you want to appear here as a guest from outside the country or anywhere outside town, and we can always have you on video talking to us. So thank you very much. Until another episode, bye for now. All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjegero.co.ke.